we're here. Oh, I almost left us on mute. It's been a minute. It's been a minute, and I almost left us on mute. That is my B. Hello chat. Hello Twitch. Hello YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much. Hello podcast format listeners. How are you guys doing? Who whispered over me? Who fizzed over me? You ruined my ASMR. I hope everyone's doing well. It was for ASMR. It was for additional ASMR content. Yeah, no, it's good to be back. We've been missing for 2 weeks due to some personal reasons and stuff on my side, and then obviously we had a week off as well booked in the books. So we appreciate your patience. You guys have been awesome. We got a lot of love in Discord and on the socials, which I appreciate. We're going to jump in and do a recap with Monsieur Slate, Mr. Richard, I believe. Are you ready? Do you need some additional time, Richard, while I vamp? Once upon a time, there was a game of D&D, and... No, okay, we're good? Okay, we're good.
We're good to go. In the latest session of the Wandering Isles, time has swiftly moved forward by several months at the Maleficanum's Arcanum of Magic and Might, bringing significant developments and deeper explorations into the arcane. During this period, Eos dedicates herself to helping Weslin grasp the concept of reincarnation. This learning process is visually captivating as Weslin's tattoos begin to merge with the books he reads, creating a unique spectacle of knowledge absorption that fascinates Eos. The tranquility of their studies is disrupted by the arrival of Dr. Harrow, a figure who brings a shadow of fear over Slate. Slate confides in Amadriana about his dread towards the Doctor. Curious and concerned, Amadriana seeks out Dr. Harrow, only to discover her involvement in experiments that could spell danger for the school. When Dr. Harrow catches Amadriana snooping around, a tense encounter ensues. Amadriana manages to talk her way out of a potentially hazardous situation, but the encounter leaves more questions than answers, and Dr. Harrow's intentions and the ethical boundaries she may be crossing. Seeking guidance, Amadriana discusses her concerns with Remington. However, their conversation reveals a discord in how to handle the troubling developments as they find themselves at odds over the approach at managing Dr. Howe's actions within the Arcanum. In a moment of camaraderie and shared concern, Amadriana and Slate reconvene to discuss their findings. Amadriana informs Slate that Dr. Harrow seems to be establishing a laboratory within the school's confines, hinting at a more ominous activities yet to be uncovered. As the narrative unfolds, the Academy stands on the cusp of potential upheaval, with the characters navigating through layers of mystery, ethical dilemmas, and the ever-blurring lines between the academic pursuit and the arcane experimentation.
All of that is correct. We are, I think, one behind. I think that was one behind. But all that we missed from that was just that we had our glorious team deliberate on how to handle the stickmen that have emerged, and of course Weslin and Slate have gone up a mountain, and that is where we shall join them. I apologize, Richard, that is probably on me. I think I sent you the wrong link earlier. Apologies. But on that note, let's get in, join the boys on the mountain, and see what it is we must be doing. Boys on the mountain, it is shortly before dawn. As instructed, you are awakening. What would you like to do, huh?
Climb that mountain.
Yep. The plan was to
Steve Harvey just comes
try and leave before the sun comes up, to try and make use of the colder temperatures, that if there was any slate, shale, loose things, that they'd be bound by the colder temperatures, which would make it an easier crossing.
Heck yeah.
And then, we might also be able to enjoy a sunrise at the top if we can make good ground and good time and do it safely.
Yeah, absolutely. Hell yeah. So, I mean...
And I think as well, we spoke about tying each other together at the last session as well. That was something I mentioned at the very end, that we'd have lengths of rope and we'd tie each other in case one slipped. And I think that was it.
Just one little leash tie to Chicken as well, who has joined you. Hell yeah.
For some reason, I'm not really that worried about Chicken. Pretty sure he would just if he fell off the mountain, he'd fall into a giant pile of chickens. That'd be like a squeaky toy sound, as he impacted the ground. Mm-hmm. Totally sure he'd be fine. Right?
Pretty sure. Or else. Because people will riot.
Streets.
In the streets. It's perfect. So I believe we were somewhere near kind of the midway point of the mountains, and things were getting a little bit foggy and cloudy, and you could look down and you could see most of the Crescent Pearl along, well, pretty much all of it, along with the islands ahead of you, which in this case would be on your left, Boris, and on your right would be, wait, not Herbs. Oh, I have forgotten the name of my own islands. That's embarrassing.
Thebes. It's not Thebes, but that's how I always remember it. Let
me pull it up. Let's find out. It is, apologies. Herbs, Desolata, Vulcanus. It is Vulcanus. Sorry. Thank you so much for the patience. Yeah, no, we are, you can see Vulcanus sort of ahead of you and slightly to your right, and then on your left you have Arboris, with contrasting, obviously, nature in Arboris, but on the right-hand side you just see a very terrifying looking volcano that is quasi-active. Yeah. Upward and onward? Where are you going?
Straight to the top. We're there's a storm up there, you said, right? A
perpetual storm.
Perpetual storm. Well, you're only gonna get the best views if you get above the cloud, right? And what's a good mountain? Yeah, what's a good mountain climb if you're not going through a storm? So let's see if we can't navigate that.
Heck yeah. So the climb becomes more arduous throughout the morning. The mountain's colder, more jagged, more difficult. That doesn't seem to deter any of you. It's just more of a, if anything, it's just further motivation to make it further, right? To push beyond the limits of what you had normally intended to do. Most people don't climb a mountain for the ease of it. They climb it because it's difficult and because it's an achievement, and you're pushing for that achievement. Cue the Xbox noise. It's a nice experience for you, because it's pushing your limits a little bit more than what you've been dealing with recently. A lot of what you've been dealing with is boots on the ground kind of stuff, and now you're above it all, literally and figuratively, and it's nice for both of you, for different reasons probably, to experience something new. There's no immediate checks, but is there anything you guys want to talk about or experience as you're going through this? Is there, like, even if it's just the experience of your characters or what they are going through at the moment? I would be curious.
For Slate, I've made it clear that this is kind of Weslin's journey, so I'm a guest on his mountain, for lack of a better way of putting it. So I'm very much taking his cue. If, you know, like going through a museum or something, if he stops to look at something, I stop and just stand there in silence and let him take as long as he wants. So he's definitely leading the charge, you know, so whatever he does, I do, and I'm letting him very much dictate the flow of the conversation, the silence and the speed, because I'm here for, you know, moral support and for him to climb his mountain. So I'm very much taking his lead.
How is Westland doing on this journey? Is this exhausting for him? Is he keeping up?
Yeah. No, he's moving quite slowly. He is a bit more gray than he was last week. His knees kind of groan a bit as he moves. He is doing most of this travel in silence, with gritted teeth and grim determination. He's going to get to the top of this mountain. It is all he can think about. Get to the top.
And as you climb that mountain and as you ascend, the clouds get darkened. The air gets heavy. Oh, sorry, the air gets thin, I should say. But the breathing is hard. It's difficult. It's heavy. It's an active thought now rather than a passive one. It's possible this is higher than either of you have ever been. Not that either of you specifically may know that. It is difficult. At this point, I would introduce what you had already said and just say that you're tying each other together a little bit here, trying to make sure that you have the sort of grip, and you're taking it very slow as you climb this mountain. I'm gonna need. Go ahead.
As I said before, you know, I have pittons, a hammer, things like that to try and make it easier. Obviously, we've got rations and that sort of thing, and having used my bardic inspiration previously before the last rest, we had talked about part of that rest was to acclimatize, but obviously we've gone higher again and higher again. So again, I'd be trying to prompt Weslin that if he felt he needs encouragement in the same way again that I was there for him, in terms of that little push figuratively or you know, inspirationally.
Absolutely. I'll keep it in mind. I know that it lasts for 8 hours, I think. Was it Bardic? Or 24 hours? 24 hours for Bardic, I think we talked about, right?
10 minutes, I think.
This is 10 minutes. So it's in the moment. So when last time he had a little stumble, I got to use it. Then we talked about it. We had a rest. So yeah, so for him slowing down and finding it hard, I'd be taking it at his pace and letting him know if he feels uneasy or, you know, needs to rest. You know, he just needs to let me know, and that's obviously when I'd be looking to assist him in that way.
So you have your torture tools, you're torturing the mountain as you climb with your pittons and your various things. There is a weird moment that occurs. So from both of you first, I'm going to need a dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity saving throw.
First rolls as we're back. Come on, boys, we got this. It's been 20 days since we had a roll. Let's go.
Yeah. I'll be fine.
19, I'll take that.
13.
Yeah, 13.
Your bardic inspiration D6 at your level, is that right?
It is.
I would say add your D6 to that, wasn't it?
6 it is.
I will just cast it into the chat as well.
Thank you. For those of you watching the stream who maybe aren't as familiar with D&D, there is an abbreviated version of the spell in our chat that you may look at. This is only for video users, I'm afraid. Sorry, podcast users, but we will try and be vocal about these things as we move forward.
Oh man, I'm trying to find myself my dice in here, and I am.
Been a minute. If you've got your sheet open,
I do.
It should be there on the top, on the tabs on the right. If you click on the cog, and then on the top right, you've got saving throws. You see that?
Well, yeah, I've rolled a saving throw. I'm looking for a D6.
Oh, sorry, specifically D6. Just in chat. Sorry, just underneath the chat box. You just hit the D6 there.
Ah, there it is. Okay.
Sorry about that.
It's been a hot minute. Sorry.
Yeah, and I also worked like 10.5-hour shift today, so a 1. Okay. So you got a 14 in total.
14 in total.
Slate, you've inspired Westland to steadily move up. He needs to go upward here. There is no more across. He makes a jump and he puts his hand up, but he slips. You reach out to catch him, but almost serendipitously, a gust of wind comes from beneath and just gently moves him, edging back to the, before you can even do anything. Edging him back to the sort of thing, he leaps up again and he pulls himself up. You move up behind him, as you've noted already, you're kind of following him up. You move up behind him, but it was a very close call. Something doesn't rest easy with you about how perfectly timed that wind was. But it doesn't mean it's unusual either. There's just something in the back of your head gnawing at how strange that was. As you look up to the ledge above, you already see Chicken kind of looking down at you guys. You just see the 2 fox ears and like the big wide eyes. It's just kind of looking down just to see how you're doing. Perfect. You make it up to the ledge. There's no major incidents from there, but it does take a lot longer than typical. You are using some of your pittance to get movement going here, and to support Westland as you guys get higher.
To make sure that he keeps going, what I'm going to do is, you know, the adage is always be sipping, so if you're walking along, you're always taking a little bit. You're not chugging drinks, you're not stopping for big feeds, you're having little bits as you go, drinking and eating, etc. So I'm just going to start breaking
the entire
off
of life, just always be sipping.
so I'm just going to start breaking off bits of ration and stuff like that to give him something to focus on, not just thinking about his knees or the cold or the wind or again, just keeping his body physically going, but also helping him with his mind.
No, absolutely. That's definitely something that that can be done. Through your time there, as you sit, just regaining your composure for a moment, I'm not 100% sure how much Westland is aware of what happened, if it may have just been normality for him. John, I would leave that more to you to decide how aware you are of how close that call was, or at least how aware Westland is of how close the call was. I would probably defer to you more about that.
How realizing it was a close call, like he's well aware of the strong chances of this being a fatal journey. His reaction to the stumble, however, is again like it's not even necessarily grim determination. It's grim acceptance of whatever may happen.
Right.
It's almost as if he has experienced this sort of environmental treachery before, in some shape or form, probably more than once. He does not look back. He makes a point to not look back. It is always forward. And though he is slowing down, because that was a close call, and it does take a lot of energy. He looks impatient during these rests, anxious, like he worries that we'll run out of time on this mountain. That tomorrow is too late.
I imagine in some capacity that would be clear to Slate as well. That anxiousness or that determination sort of combined feels very evident to Slate as well. It's almost an emotion that Slate, I think, would be fair to say, is also familiar with. So there's definitely some sort of combination there.
I think the combination, while Weslin's not the most talkative in our group, Slate and Weslin have had a decent amount of interaction in their way, and this is very distinctly lacking of it. And the feeling of, I guess, a pilgrimage, something that has some sacrifice, etc. to it, is what's coming out of this. And obviously seeing Weslin nearly fall and then just carry on without talking about it, that says an awful lot to that he wants to get to the top effectively at all costs, and also knowing that may not be a possibility for one or both of us based on what just happened, because a slight difference in that and one of us would have been over the side, if not both, because we're tied together. So that's clearly on Slate's mind. So I would also be unusually quiet, more so focused, trying to watch him, knowing that if he goes, I'm tied to him, so I'll have to get the pitten or the hammer or whatever in quickly, or whatever it is, to try and anchor us before I'm pulled off with them, if that was the case.
Absolutely. No, well said. Absolutely. As you continue climbing, it's getting kind of on in the day. The tooth is getting a bit long, as they say. Or long in the tooth. Anyway. As you approach what would be the final ascent for today, I'm going to get, again, just dexterity checks this time. No saving throw required, but just checks for me, please.
So dex?
Dex, please, yeah.
Dex.
You can use athletics or acrobatics for this if you like, whichever is fine. Yeah.
So,
it's not super strict.
30, 20.
He's having a struggle. With an 11.
11. Slate, you're moving up behind Westland. You're kind of keeping him level, sort of pressured. But he seems fixated on something else. And as you push for the top of this mountain, the clouds begin to take a very set, specific shape. There is a creature emerging from the clouds itself. One of tremendous shape and size. Something you have never seen before, as it lets out a guttural roar and scream. It almost looks serpentine in nature, but as its elongated neck and body emerge from the clouds, you can see a massive wingspan. It's far from you. It may not even necessarily see you yet, but it is there. As its wings beat, you both just hang and look on in incredible amazement. Because the wind and power coming from this thing looks greater than anything you've ever seen. This thing could wipe an island if it wanted to. It's pure power incarnate. What do you guys want to do?
Wesson turns to Slate. Looking a little gray. They even have monsters in the sky here. I have fought many things, but I have not fought something like that. You do not have to continue. I can face it alone.
Never seen anything like this. I don't know what the future holds, even if it's going to be brief. But I'm here with you until the end.
It's so cold that there's a combination of rain and snow as the weather becomes torrential. You can hear this beast in the distance, making noises you've never heard before and ones that'll never leave your dreams again. As the thunder begins to beat down and the lightning begins to ignite the sky.
Grit my teeth, lean against the wind, put a foot forward, and move slowly.
As you reach the next ledge and pull yourself up, and Slate as you follow, it's incredibly slippery. The weather and the dynamic change is powerful. You see beyond the realm of the clouds the shape of this figure moving across. And the most intimidating thing is something that may not be consciously noticed but subconsciously, as its roar is louder than the crashing thunder against the mountainside. Now, those of you down on the ground in your school, no rain, no thunder, nothing. But those on the mountain, you can almost feel it shake from the power of this creature.
Just wasn't checking his inventory for weapons, and yeah, we can take this thing with the dagger, right?
You sure can, yeah.
Fine, it's fine.
If we can just get you into a dungeons, I think we've accomplished D&D for this evening.
Yeah.
Would it be fair to say, with the kind of the wind and the rain and the thunder and the lightning, that we're reasonably close to each other, but it would be, we could hear each other, but maybe it's not entirely clear. So there's a lot of noise, but we'd have to be slightly louder to hear it. To hear each other.
Yeah, you'd have to be slightly louder. Do you know in movies when you see them at a club or climbing a mountain or doing something and they're screaming at each other, but you know that all the ambiance is added later, so they're just actually just actors yelling at each other? That's the level you guys are at right now, where you're just basically yelling at each other, yeah.
So, based on the level of sound that's around us, I'm gonna take a bet that if we can't hear ourselves too well that things far away can't hear us either. And actually, based
Hopefully their
on
perception
that,
isn't too high. I understand what you're saying.
well, this is going to get worse in a second because that's not what I'm thinking about. What I'm thinking about is my own footing, my own fear of seeing this enormous creature. Everything from the elements, the weather, the thought of, Weslin falling, me falling, this thing seeing us. And actually, I'm going to decide to, in a way, inspire myself, but how I want to do it is I want to play my pan flute because I want to do it in the guise of playing it for Weslin, but actually it's to distract myself, because if I'm focusing on the notes, trying to play his song to him, I'm not thinking about what could be about to happen. I haven't really put a lot of thought into it. It's just that he might be able to just about hear it next to me through the wind. He might hear bits of it. And yeah, that's what I'd like to do, to try and distract myself from impending doom and danger.
Of course.
I'm behind him, so he won't see it until he hears it.
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely. That was a pan flute check.
Yeah,
I've never seen that in Foundry. Go ahead.
I'm trying to master his, as I call it, the song of the summer. Every time I play it, I'm trying to get better. This is only my third attempt at it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, no. So as you're playing that, I will give bardic inspiration to Westlin for that, if that's what you're trying to go for. But I will also apply advantage to both of you on the next check, because I like that was kind of creative. Also, I have this funny image in my mind of Slate just climbing a mountain with one hand and the other hand, like, as he blows into this pan flute, like as he's trying to climb up this mountain. And I kind of like that.
This is why I picked pan flute over lute.
Imagine the drum kit.
Yeah.
The war drums.
Just throw it down the hill. It'll fucking play itself.
Yeah, right. Just hold the pan flute up. Just get it in the gust of wind. It'll blow in. You just like, there you go. Just perfect. This mountain's doing it itself. No, I like that. Westland, this is helping you concentrate on something beyond the phenomena that you're discovering ahead of you. You continue to progress throughout the mountain. There are moments of just, oh shit, where's Chicken? But usually Chicken is somewhere around, able to navigate this like some sort of mountain goat fox hybrid. Fox is agile. This seems fine. The next hurdle is by far the most dangerous. This ascent looks more... I think I measured this before to like the Simpsons, the murder horn episode, but this is murder horn part. This is the murder horn part of the murder horn. You're at what would be considered a peak of this. But by far, with the water, with the rain, with the wind, with the sky serpent, it's advantageous, to say the least, to proceed. That is not DM speak for turn the fuck around, but it is DM speak for be careful how you proceed from here, as the consequences are a lot higher than they were a few moments ago.
Because the altitude?
The altitude, the rain, the water, the storm, the sky serpent, the everything, and how far it is if you fall. All of that sucks.
Well, that's what I meant, because the stakes are a lot higher.
The snakes are a lot higher too.
Wait, if there's a snake, there should be a ladder.
Should be. I don't know where they put the ladder. This is clearly a failure on behalf of the school.
Sorry, yeah.
To supply us with proper ladders.
You're going to go all the way back down and realize there was a walkway slightly to the right?
No, just a tram. A little,
This little
gondola.
train, like one of those ones for kids that they have at like all of these attractions.
Yeah. Study myself at this peak. Survey the next movement forward. Seal against the rain.
just check. Is this kind of like a more of like a climbing, like hand-holdy thing, or is this like walking, or what? Like, what is the?
This is what plagues my TikTok in the best possible way, because I get distracted watching it in a sense of I'll never accomplish this, but I love watching it, of people who are hanging off the most obnoxious things, like way too high in the air, like no support structure whatsoever, and they're psychotic, but in the best way possible, because it's entertainment for me for 6 seconds and a half.
So with that in mind, then I definitely want to, because I've been trying to be strategic and supportive, I want to use Mage Hand, my cantrip, in front of Weslin. But what I actually want to use it to do is to find grips for him, because if it grips it and it breaks, no harm done. If it grips it and it goes, he can grab it. And it's helping him find a path, because it's all about finding the handholds and making sure there is enough for the hand to actually grip, but also making sure it's not going to be a grab and fall situation.
Yeah.
So I'm using that to sort of track a path in front of him and to show him where to go, etc. And to try and alleviate some of that danger in some of the grips.
In my head, because I am a living cartoon character, I picture a Mickey Mouse glove just appearing and like walking on 2 fingers up the mountain and leading, leading the way.
And as he goes to grab the rocks that are raining, it's like brushing the water off for him, you know, like
Nice,
sweeping it, keeping it. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Give me my Fantasia music. Where is it? Perfect. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you use Mage Hand and you gently guide the path, which is also a spell, but it's okay. I don't think we have that yet. Yeah, you... Again, it's going to be acrobatics or athletics. Both of you have advantage already, so the Mage Hand doesn't add an additional to that, but Westland, just as a reminder, you also have a d6 on this as well from the Sky Pan Flute Mega
And
Super
I'm just going to cast that in just to get rid of it, so I've used it. There we go.
Oh, let's just hope this is... Man.
Wow. Alright, at least you have your d6. Yeah.
Very well. Very well.
I liked Wes.
Right?
Dirty 20. Dirty 20.
Oh, a 6 though.
16.
Hell yeah.
There we go.
Can't believe Slate killed Wes on the mountain.
I think it's okay to say this. That was the difference. That 6 is definitely the difference between a failure and a success. That was almost very, very bad immediately.
Yeah.
As you proceed to move up, you go to put your hand on a rock. Slate, you notice that is a loose rock, but he hasn't seen it yet, and your Mage Hand comes in and just slaps the top of his hand away, and he moves it slightly over. It's perfect. So he manages to climb up. I hit myself a little too hard there. And he climbs up. As you guys continue and proceed up, this next part of the journey is, well, let's just call it cinematic. So I'm going to need 3 rolls from you guys. If there's anything that you would like to contribute to this in the form of inspirations and all of that kind of stuff, anything you guys have for these tools, I highly recommend it, because if you believe there's a failure involved here, if you have inspiration or something, use it, because this is not the kind of cinematic where you have plot armor. This is the kind of cinematic where I will throw you from a mountain. So here we go.
Sounds amazing.
Rory with the double thumbs up.
Slate starts to head back down the mountain.
Yeah.
Some of us have been here before.
Yeah. You know what? This feels too cinematic. I'm going back down.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
What are you climbing up? Why do I hear an orchestra? Nope.
Yeah.
Where did
You
the
look
GoPro
up and
come
there's an
from?
orchestra just on the peak of the mountain just playing.
Roll initiative.
Roadhouse. Yeah, you roll for initiative against the mountain. Okay.
Pedro Pascal, what are you doing here?
Just gets crushed immediately. Head crushed. Yeah. Game of Thrones reference. I don't want anything to happen to Pedro. That wasn't just like a threat on his life or something. Okay, so I need 3 checks. I'm going to get a survival check from both of you. I'm going to get a acrobatics and athletics check from both of you as well, please.
Well,
Oh, Westland. Oh, Westland, no.
I have my final bardic inspiration.
Oh, Westland, no.
Wow.
Holy shit, no.
Oh no!
Don't do this to me,
Well,
man.
no, I can't look.
He's,
John, I wouldn't mind, but I played a good bit of D&D with John now. I've never seen these rolls from him. Ryan, maybe, but not John.
they've been pretty bad, but you know, like
Bad but true.
Weston's getting old. He's tired. This is a lot.
So Eo's
Not in
making
the
a cup of
summer
tea
years.
back in the house, and she gets like this weird breeze. She goes down her spine. She closes the window like no.
She sits on the windowsill and watches as Westland falls past it.
I'll cast my final bardic inspiration for that process, and I'll let Wesleyan use that as he sees fit.
Westland, by any chance, are you sitting on a regular inspiration? Because this might be the time.
I am not, but I'm going to. I used it the last session, but I am going to attempt to propose.
To Slate on top of the mountain?
Well, you know, given that I'm about to fall off the mountain and we're gonna fall off together, we might as well make this union, you know, perfect.
So everything that you own is mine when I get back down. Got
Yeah,
it.
I'm
sure
very
you want everything he's
progressive,
got.
but just like being a minority or being like gay married or any of that stuff, that's not going to help you survive a fall from a mountain. Okay, I'm very progressive. I love it. I'm all for it. But
at least it's at least it ends in love, like a splatter of love.
It will work because he'll cast ceremony and then he'll get a bonus.
he'll get the bonus. He lands on the ground and his blood splatters in the shape of a heart. There you go.
Anyway, I've got a little bit of teleporty action that might be something that can come into play.
Is it teleporty action or teleporty reaction?
Oh, wait, it is not a reaction for sure, but in support of perhaps one of these roles, perhaps it is the athletics or acrobatics in terms of getting up, climbing upwards, could potentially teleport. If I'm realizing, due to my weakness and my lack of momentum, as he is clearly winding down in times of duress, and he has used it once in times of duress. Perhaps this is a good time to bounce.
Okay. So for context for the podcast, Westland rolled and that one on survival. For a total of 6 though. That's a pretty good survival check regardless, but the nat one is just you got an 8 for acrobatics and a 2 for athletics, a natty 2 as well. And Slate, you got a 12 for survival, a 16 for acrobatics, and a 13 for athletics. Just putting that out there for the potty as well.
Not sure if that bardic inspiration is going to do much, so I might as well hold on to it for attempting to.
For when you hit the ground.
Yeah,
Mitigate 6 points of damage.
Yeah.
As you explode on impact. Like at that distance, at that speed, I think you would just be meshed by the time you reach the ground.
More than an ankle.
A little bit more than an ankle. Not quite. Okay. Let's set some ambiance, shall we? Let's get some music. Because we're getting cinematic up in here.
Shoots and ladders music, like falling down music.
And or ladders.
You know, I do get knocked down, but I do get up again.
Probably not this time. No, you're fine. We'll go through it. As you guys try and uncover a path, Slate, you're trying as hard as you can to see a clear path for both you and Westland, but it's just not working. Westland, it's on you exclusively this time as the mage hand dissipates after the 60 seconds? I believe. That it is there. Let me have a quick look.
1 minute, yeah.
1 minute, yeah. So after 60 seconds, it disappears. And Westland, you were kind of counting on it. So you have trouble finding your pathing. But that's not what makes you lose your footing. there's a sudden increase in the wind around you as the loudest beating sound you've ever heard pushes against the mountain, and the wind backs off against it, knocking Westland off balance. And as he begins to fall, Slate, you reach out. The creature, the sky serpent, flies close to the mountain and straight over the peak. Whether or not it was coming for you is inconsequential. Slate, you begin to stumble and fall. Oh, sorry, Weston. Sorry, you begin to stumble and fall. With your acrobatics check of an 8, you manage to just catch onto the ledge. And Slate, you grab down because you got a nice 16 there. You reach down and you place your hand on his. And then you Mufasa him. Hail to the king. You throw him off the edge. Now, you try and grab onto him, but the rain is slippery. You're stressed. Your body changes form. You become the Minotaur. You're grabbing. You need the strength, but it's just not enough as he slips through and begins to fall. With a 2 on athletics, you are hurtling through the air. If you wanted to do a BAMF, now would be the time.
Now's a great time to do a BAMF.
Now's a great time to do a BAMF. What is the feature that you're using for BAMF here?
It is
Face step, is that right?
It's called BAMF. Yeah, as a face step, I believe. Yes, it is face step.
30 feet unoccupied space you can see 2 times per long rest. Okay. At the moment, 2 times. Okay. Let me have a look. I'm going to give you a survival check to see if you can see a space, because we know that you didn't prior. At this point, I would very much so encourage you to add your final d6 to this as well, even if this is a nat 20. This is a very, very difficult check. So you want to be 100% about this, okay? Slate got down. All right, Westland got down.
Wow. I don't know if that d6 is going to be particularly useful.
Let's find out.
We might as well, right?
6 again.
All
Nice.
right, 6.
Bring you to a total of 14.
Rolling real well today.
Slate, I will give you 1 acrobatics or athletics check. If you're using athletics, I'll give you advantage because you're in Minotaur form.
Yeah, I'll take the advantage then.
This is to grab Westland because he did not make it to a secure location and bamfed instead quite close to you, enough to give you a chance. And at this point, I will struggle to have any other way of securing you, so please, for the love of God, make this. Please.
Not great. 10.
Flat 10. You go to grab onto Westland, but it's just a little bit too late, unfortunately. You weren't expecting the bump. Westland, you fall and stumble. I'm going to need a dexterity saving throw. At this point, you're taking damage, but I'm going to see if you keep rolling or if you can catch yourself as you're falling. But at this point, hits are happening.
Understood.
The game is not liking you today, John, man. I don't know what's going
It
on.
is not. It is not.
Disregard
That's
what I
a
said. The
19.
game loves you. The game is totally into you. It's very passionately in love with you, John.
Don't jinx it.
You fall and you take the first 10 foot of bludgeoning damage, which is 1d6. I'm going to get you to roll that 1d6, but with a 19, you do manage to save yourself from stumbling off the edge of the next one, which would have been another further 2d6. Only 2 points. Take the 2 points off your HP. That could have gone a hell of a lot worse for you.
Let's see.
As the kick-ass bass riff just comes in.
How do I do that?
So on your
I'll figure
sheet
that
in the top, I can do it for you. It's okay for the moment, but I'll show you how to do that. We need to do a sort of catch up here on the new Foundry system. Oh yeah, there you go.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, so Slate, you look down, panicked, of course, naturally, as you would be. Westland manages to grab onto the edge, but you can see his nose is bloody. He's got scrapes all over himself. As you hear the familiar sound of beating once again. It is returning. At this point, what do you guys want to do?
I would like to, as I see it, I presume he's fallen down to a lower level. I believe we're
Back
still
to the
tied
previous
together.
plateau. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's hurt himself. Obviously, I'm in the process of trying to steady and hold the rope and presumably try and, pull him up while he steadies himself, etc. But what I'd like to do...
that. Yeah, you did actually point out that you were tied together. That was my bad, actually, to forget that in my head. But yeah, he's just...
That's okay. I was just waiting for him to go and then for me to have to make a check to not go with him.
Yeah.
So what I'd like to do is while I'm pulling him up, I'm basically going to, plant my feet and, lean back and all of that. But what I actually want to do is with my head, I want to start looking for anywhere that we can hide. I'd like to do some investigation in the area, whether it's like a little burrow of something, whether it's a bush, whether it's like snow, ice block, I don't know, anything that we can hide behind that may give us some chance of not being lunch.
Okay. I'm going to get you to make I'll leave it to you. You can make an active perception check to see. You can make an investigation check or a survival check. Survival would be the lowest DC in this case. I will alter the DC based on the check you're making. And I will let you know that survival, based on what it is, what survival is for, that it would help you here. But you can have whichever one you choose.
Based on my background, I'm going to go with investigation, please.
Chris?
Not really. That is a 6.
You're a little bit distracted given the situation. You're trying to pull Westland up. You're looking around. You don't see anything. Westland, I assume you're cooperating with this. You're not just like hanging there letting Slate carry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, he's very, very tired at this stage, but as his face bleeds and turns blue where it was impacted, he blinks through the stars and the blurred vision, and with what strength he has remaining, is going to pull along with Slate. How close is this creature?
Right now, you can only hear it, not see it, but you would guess close. Like, whether or not it knows where you are is a mystery, but it is circling here for some reason, so probably knows something's up. As you emerge on the top with Slate, at this point, like I always say, you can have 2 checks on any one thing. If you want to check for another place, you can, but this would be the last check in this area for you to see if there's a hiding space as such.
Before anything happens, I'm going to say to Wesleyan as I pull him up, the way I see it, we only have a couple of seconds. We either hide or we try and anchor ourselves down so the wind doesn't pull us off if this thing comes close. So we either tie ourselves down with the pittons and rope to the mountain, or we hide. It's your call. We got to make it fast.
I'm not in the business of hiding. I cast Entangle.
So you're tying yourself to the mountain?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Smart. I like that. As you cast Entangle, vines emerge from the mountain and they grip both of you and pull you in. Chicken is nowhere to be seen at this moment, so there's no need to entangle Chicken, but for the 2 of you, it is pulling you in towards the mountain and keeping you kind of like taut and flat against the mountain. The vines reach out and they're just holding you in place, also acting as pseudo camouflage. At this point, I need a stealth check from both of you, and I will give you advantage based on the very cool actions of Entangle.
I'll also, if I have time, add minor illusion to make it look thicker, bushier, and to be in keeping with the type that is there already. You know, the terrain that's there.
No worries. Oh,
that's
John,
funny.
there you go. The bounce back, the upswing.
That's that.
A 20 for a total
Making me
of
cast a
22.
spell, man. Ugh.
If you're gonna use
And
a
then
spell slot, you should get a nat 20 out of it, yeah.
Stealth at advantage, did you say?
Stealth at advantage, yeah.
Oof.
15.
15.
You instinctively lean forward to look up and see if you can see this creature, but as if guided by an unnatural force, Westland reaches out and pulls you back in, and you both remain hidden as this thing is mere feet from your face. You can see the scales, you can feel the ice and cold coming off this thing, the water bouncing off it. You can smell it. It is a very intense smell, very, very strong one, almost sulfuric through your nostrils. For those who aren't familiar with sulfur, it's almost rotten eggs. It's like a very strong, potent smell. As this thing descends the mountain at a rapid pace, the wings beating shake you to your core, and there's a weird moment as it transfers over you and down that there's just no rain on you at all. It protects and covers you for that split second while water droplets come off of it and almost turn to ice before they hit the ground. What do you boys want to do?
Use this time to rest. We got a minute or two to like catch a breath on the spell.
I think you mispronounced catch breath and hold breath.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's a minute. We have a minute. Catch your breath.
Throughout that minute, this creature passes by twice more. Further away this time, but it appears to be searching. Whether or not that's for you is unclear, but it isn't far from you guys at any one time.
Look over to Slate with a very long, grim look. It is not too late. You do not have to come with me.
You say that like I can just walk back down and it'll be fine.
I can buy you time.
Whatever we do, we've got better chances together, whatever that is.
Very well. Are you ready?
Nope. But let's do it.
And as you say that, as almost perfectly timed, the vines wither. Ready or not, time to go.
Push forward.
You begin climbing rapidly. I need to know if you guys are trying to do this hastily or carefully.
Carefully.
Carefully,
It slows
100%.
you down to go carefully as you climb. I'm gonna get athletics or acrobatics from both of you once again, please.
$17.
21. Or sorry.
21 for Westland as well.
19.
You're making up for lost time here, John.
Yeah, 21. Yeah, that was right. Math was right.
Math was right. Math was mathing.
Math was mathing.
You very, not super slowly, but you very carefully climb with haste. You're not using pittance or anything at the moment. You don't have time.
I'm not
You just
using
go
any
for it.
cantrips or anything either because I don't want to give any visuals away. I'm just low to the ground, fast and quiet.
As you get to one of the final plateaus here before the direct peak itself, which would be almost too steep to climb anyway, there is almost a sense of, oh, as you let a breath out, but that is very quickly changed as the smell of sulfur once again approaches, and within maybe 2.5 foot of you as it goes flying over the edge is this creature again, this time letting out a very loud roar. It's close. Talk to me, boys.
This plateau that we're sort of cresting, is this like a flat plateau or over and then like curved, if you know what I mean?
So there's a sort of flat plateau here before another jutting spike, but this spike isn't massive. You're basically at the top of this mountain.
push forward.
And so it is. You reach the final section of this, the final climb. I'm going to get you to make... It's going to be 1 athletics, 1 dex, acrobatics, 1 athletics, and I'm going to say stealth for this one. John, man. Another nat 20, hell yeah. Oh, well, there's the 6.
Don't jinx it. Don't
I
jinx
spoke too
it.
soon. Okay. Oh, Slate, you guys have swapped. Slate's struggling now.
For Slate, having put so much effort in the early part of the climb,
Yeah.
and using all of his tricks and all of his tools and spending so much time looking and helping, I'm absolutely spent physically, mentally, and then the sight, the sound, all of this, reaching the top, seeing the flat, there's nowhere to go, the thing is close. I'm done. I don't have anything left to give.
Okay. Okay. So... Alright. Process for 1 second here, the rolls. Athletics.
I have 1 Banff left. At the next level, I'm able to start taking people with me to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Can I burn through some hit points to take Slate with me?
Let's see if you need to. Just bear with me for 1 second. Like, it's a good question. Let me see if you need to. Okay, so for the podcast listeners, Westland got a nat 20 on acrobatics for a total of 22, 6 on athletics, and a 15 on stealth. And Slate got a 12 on acrobatics, 7 on athletics, and a 13 on stealth. Okay. Okay. As you guys remain hidden, it becomes very arduous, and, like, very heavy for you to try and stay hidden, move up this mountain. There's a lot of back and forth, and it's quite taxing on both of you. Slate, in particular, you're feeling it. You put a lot of work in the early days of this, and as you said, or the early hours of this, as you said. So it is quite a heavy thing for you to do. You both continue your climb, and as you approach that edge, Westland, you're gaining strength from this. You're like, I'm almost there. I'm not giving up. I'm not stopping. There's nothing that can stop me. But Slate, you are struggling to breathe. The air is very thin. You are struggling to maintain an eye on Westland and on yourself and on what you need to do, and you have overexerted yourself as you begin to slip. With that in mind, Westland's nat 20 for acrobatics. He grabs you and he pulls you up. A change in the dynamic that was unexpected. Westland is gaining strength from this, and it's becoming clear. The tattoos are more prominent. Like, your body is more muscular, Westland. You're getting kind of swole from this.
And by contrast, as I took a different shape earlier to be a minotaur, etc., the more tired I am, the heavier a bigger shape is of any kind. So I would go as small as I can in my smallest shape, because in my mind it's less frame to carry, even though it makes no difference. It's still me, but in my subconscious, in my head, it seems easier.
Gotcha. No problem. You begin your climb as he pulls you back up and sort of positions you, but you are feeling weak and overexerted. Yeah. With that, Westland, you're going to climb again, but you are now struggling because you're carrying yourself and Slate. So you're struggling with this a good bit. Slate does help, but both of you are having a problem here. What is your HP total? 6 left, is it, Westland?
Yep, it is 6 left.
If you want to do your BAMF, I'll allow you to do it, to try and take Slate with you. But the contrast is that before you do this, you have to roll a d6, and that is the HP total you will lose from this. It's an all or nothing bet. It could be a Hail Mary. You could lose 1, but you could also lose 6 from this. Do you accept the deal? Cool.
1.
Oh, the dice are in your favor. If I had asked you for that earlier.
Stop trying to jinx it.
With the 1, you lose 1 HP. You grab Slate and you're just like, we're going. You move 30 foot straight up. The 15 and the 13 stealth. You appear over the edge and you start to fall. You both grab out and grab onto the ledge of this to try and make it so that you don't back down the mountain. With that, I'm going to get you both to make a dexterity saving throw. This is the final check for you guys.
Okay. For the marbles.
Oh, thank God. 19.
That's 5.
That is a 5. Did you use your bardic inspiration earlier? Remind me.
You did.
You did. Slate, you grab on. You hold on to the ledge. Westland, you do not.
Can I don't know if you'll allow this.
I'm getting a lot of that tonight. All right, go ahead.
As a reaction, I'm allowed to cast Silvery Barbs. Silvery Barbs means somebody loses a check that they have passed. They have to re-roll, and you can give somebody else advantage. Can I cast Silvery Barb on myself? Therefore, I have to re-roll my 19 because it's a reaction, and then give the advantage to him, so he gets 1 more roll. So we both get a straight roll each again.
Let me read the Silvery Barbs while you guys talk for a second, and I will determine my answer based on the wording of the spell.
Yep. I'll read it to you.
It's an interesting use of the spell.
That's risky.
It
This
says
whole thing's been
instantaneous,
risky.
it says reaction. I can see myself.
This entire thing is risky.
Yeah, but you know.
You can take this action when a creature you see within 60 feet of yourself succeeds on an attack roll, an ability check, or a saving throw. Technically, under that, you are correct. You magically distract the triggering creature, and turn its momentary uncertainty into encouragement for another creature. There's no rule that says that you can't be the creature you distract in that sense. The triggering creature must re-roll a d20 and use the lower roll, and then you choose a different creature you can see within range. You can choose yourself. The chosen creature has advantage on the next attack roll, ability check, or saving throw.
So he's already had a roll, so the way I see it, he would get 1 more roll, and I would have to re-roll my 19 and take whatever I get, if it's lower, obviously. The way that I see it is that I would go to cast Bardic Inspiration, but I don't have any. I have used everything in my arsenal, so my last ditch is just to expend everything I have and to try and, you know, inspire him, and that's what comes out in the heat of the moment.
I don't even think this just falls under Rule of Cool. I think this is just a really epic use of the spell that I have not seen before and is incredibly creative. So that what I'm actually going to do, because this isn't Rule of Cool and I'm not rewarding it by just letting you do this, I think I don't have control over that. I think you are 100% within the scope of the spell to do that. I think that even though it's a very unusual use of the spell, I've never seen someone choose to fail themselves to give someone else advantage. That is a sick move. So I'm going to give you DM inspiration as well, for a very creative use of a spell that I've never seen before. I've never seen someone turn it like that in their favor. Not just in their favor, but in the favor of their ally, and that's incredible. It never occurred to me you could do that, but there's no rule in there that says to me that you cannot do that. It doesn't say that you can't be the succeeding creature. It doesn't say that. So in theory, you could do that. That's incredibly creative, Richard. That might be one of the most creative uses of a spell I've ever seen in terms of just taking a spell and twisting it and doing that like quick reaction like that was very, very impressive. So take the DM inspiration for that as well.
Lovely, thank you. I will drop that into chat as well.
Please do, yeah, throw that in the chat. That's incredibly creative.
Alright, so then for me to complete my end of it now, I've cast a spell, I need to re-roll my dex saving throw.
Yeah. Oh, buddy.
That's a total of 8, and then he gets to re-roll his.
That's fine, I'll give you your roll.
X it is. All right.
And I will use my inspiration now that I have it.
You guys are like clawing at this. Go for it, man. You have your inspiration. You can use it. So you can re-roll that one. Please save.
Oh, God, no. That one.
Oh,
I love it. This is what makes D&D good.
Crazy, man. In an effort to save Westland, you somewhat doomed yourself here.
Is what it is.
Yeah.
I knew the risk when I did it. So.
That would but that play is just badass. I know the characters will never know the scope that you went through. Well, let's frame it this way. Slate, in a moment of panic at Westland's falling, you can tell you have experience in this. You don't know why, but you just understand that he is not going to make this. You press your feet against the wall and you jump out, and as you do, you use your strength to throw Westland towards the hill, the peak, but you yourself begin to fall backwards. As discussed, you're
even
about
the fact
40 feet
that
up.
we're tied together, so even if I was to jump at a sort of other angle, it would pull him back to some degree, if you know what I mean.
Sure. As discussed, you're about 40 feet up. The rope is going to come into play here for sure, but you're going to take a heap of damage for this regardless. At the very least, you are falling 20 feet, and then you're going to slam against the rock because as you jump straight back and straight down, the rope is going to pull you in, and you're not going to be able to catch that. So it's 2d6 damage that I'm going to need you to take for this. So if you can hit me with the 2d6 first, or if you can hit yourself with the 2d6, don't hit me with it.
6.
Okay.
That's doable.
That's achievable. Okay. You take your 6 points of damage. With that, you slam into the wall down below, and for a second your bells are rung. You look back up, and Westland, you're holding onto the rope. You're holding onto the ledge yourself, and you've got him at the moment. I'll say because of the rope, rewarding that sort of move of ingenuity earlier, which by the way saved you 2d6 further damage, by the way. You guys use that momentum to get yourselves up on this peak, and as you do, you transcend the space of it's a little bit strange as you emerge through the top here. You see something that is a little bit more unexpected than expected. The storm is no longer there. It is daylight, sunshine. There's no creature flying around up here. In fact, the clouds are rather low. As you look down, your skin is dry, your clothes are dry. Chicken the Fox is just sitting there waiting. And ahead of you lies a temple. Very, very old. At least 1,200 years old, if not more.
What?
There are no footprints up here. There is no path. It is a little bit overgrown, if anything. And as you turn around, you can see the Wandering Isles. All 4 islands are visible from up here, surrounding you, 2 and 2.
I think Weston just collapses. This stage. And just a good spot to take a short rest.
I would agree with that.
I think I'd echo everything you just said, and also say that's an understatement to both take a rest and collapse.
And as you do that, what are the rest of you up to?
So back in the apartment, Eos is actually kind of busy in the, our little apartment's kitchen, whatever it is. She's gathering used coffee grounds and used tea leaves. She's putting them into a little bag, and she's gonna head out to the stables.
Okay, she going out to see Ducky.
Yeah,
I assume.
sure.
Maybe I jumped the gun. Maybe it's a different horse you want to go see, but I would imagine Ducky.
Yeah. She's gonna head out to go to Ducky, and when she's with Ducky, quick clean, quick check, she's gonna head out towards the twig figurines.
The Twiggerines, got it.
Yep.
Yeah, you can head into the enclosing forest. The Twiggerines are still present there. They are standing there. If anything, a little more viney and wrapped and stuff than last time you saw them a few days ago or whatever. But yeah, be there.
Awesome. Is there anything I need to be aware of when I'm there that has changed?
Not really beyond what was just said. No, there's nothing really major else. It's the same old. Yeah.
Excellent. Gonna take a little ribbon, a little purple bow on the bagging, leave the bagging between the two Twiggerines, and go on my morning stroll with Ducky.
Talk to me about the bagging. What is this? This is like a thing you brought with you, or?
Yeah, I put the dry coffee grounds and tea leaves into
stuff.
the bag.
Yeah, so it's just the bits and pieces that you gathered from around the place. It's nothing more than that, right?
Nothing more than that at all.
Got it. Cool. Yeah, you leave it there. And you go off to Ducky again, is it?
Yeah, head off Ducky. We're going on a morning stroll, get some exercise in, bit of fresh air.
Some nice, relaxing, calming exercise without any storms or arduous tasks or net ones. Perfect.
How would I know?
How would I know? What about the rest of you? What's everybody up to?
For some reason, Dash is just faking off some sort of stress as if he's been climbing a mountain or something.
Why am I sweating?
Why am I sweating? Why am I cold? Why is my heart rate so high? And I'll come out of my room and go into the common area, and I need to see who's around from our party. I assume notably absent would be Eos and Wes and Slate, but would Amedriana or Hatsu be present?
I'll leave that up to them, yeah.
Madriana would probably be kind of chilling in the common room.
Oh, what time of day is it? And I could tell.
Probably morning-ish, I would imagine. You guys we're back at the beginning of when they were climbing the mountain. We're going back in time, so.
Yeah. He would have finished his morning routine and would be around for sure.
Perfect, yeah.
Cool. So assuming Amedriana's in the common room and Hatsu, I assume, would be in his own room. Right, so I'll just come out of my room, walk towards Hatsu's room, knock twice. Hatsu, are you awake? Are you there?
Well, I finished my routine, yes. How can I help you?
Could you come out here a moment? I need a word with, well, whoever's about, actually.
Yes.
Thank you.
Follows.
Madriana, have you seen anyone else?
I believe Wesley and Slate took a trip up the mountain. I think I heard Eos head out this morning, so I'm guessing she's gone to feed the horse or something.
Ah, fair enough. Okay, well, I guess we can catch the rest of them up later. A couple of things. Lissa's coming back. First of all, I had a chat with her. She's
How expensive was it to get her back?
It only cost me my pride. So it's
So it didn't
The
cost that much.
usual.
not much. So yeah, she's going to be coming back soon. I have offered her to stay in our lodgings here. I hope that's okay. I think she was a bit felt a bit excluded previously, which I feel like is why she left. So I want to make an effort to make her feel part of the team.
Well, I guess since Westlin is sleeping in the woods now, the couch is free, I guess.
Yeah, that's part of what I was thinking. And another thing, I had an interesting conversation with Remington, and we've been set a little bit of a challenge. You two in particular might have noticed our little team here has been a bit diverged of late. So Remington has kind of set a little task ahead of us that might teach us how to work as a team again. If you'd be interested, Madriana, you suggested this quite a while back, and turns out you were right, unsurprisingly. Remember the vault that Lissa mentioned?
Yes.
You were right. It's a test.
Hatsu kind of grins, but since he has a mask, they don't see.
Mm-hmm.
But he knew that he was right about it.
So, what do you guys think? A nice little teamwork challenge when Lissa gets back. We can learn how to, work to each other's advantage, negate the disadvantages, get us back on the same page.
So basically, you asking for help because you're afraid you can't make it yourself. Gotcha. I'm happy to help.
Hatsu, don't get me wrong, I know I can't make it myself.
That's great that you recognize it and try to get better. I love it. I love to help you.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate it. Madriana, are you in?
Yes, I'm in.
Wonderful. I just need to, I guess, talk the other three around. I'm pretty sure Lissa will be game for it. I'd imagine Slate would like the challenge too. Wesley, anything else I couldn't say for sure, but
well, since
like
we talk about tasks, another suggestion would be that if you want to feel better and safer, I guess, we should help to keep the safety up. So my suggestion to Remington would be to get our dorm as a unit for like a little security addition to the school, if you wouldn't mind. Because that's also something I can't do myself, and Ayame and I doing our best to scout around, but it's not quite enough, I guess.
I like that idea. That could tie in quite well to even trying to find where that vault is. And let's be honest, when everything went down, it was our group that acted as the security, so why not make that more official?
So you want to find this vault?
Yes.
You want to be able to get around easier so that we can keep an eye on the place, Hatsu. I think it's about time I show you two something. Come with me. And I'll if they follow, I lead them out. And I'll take them into the secret passages underneath the castle.
Oh, I'm absolutely following, yeah.
So, I can't pretend to say that I found this place. In fact, it was Lissa.
Lissa, I fucking knew it.
But she's not quite as sneaky as she thought she was. So I was able to follow
I tell her that all the time.
She's still much better at it than you.
Yes, I know that. Yes.
So
Anyway.
while they're in there, Hatsu immediately tries to find signs, sigils, dubious people that might have used this path, as would have marked it in some capacity.
Yeah, make an... That's an investigation check.
Investigaciones. That is Hatzo's blind. That's a 3.
You don't find anything, but you're not sure that anyone would have marked it anyway, so it is... Yeah, it's a little bit hard to tell.
This is quite astonishing. So I assume they did build the school up on something else that was here before, maybe? But when people from outside could use it without being recognized, that's alarming, for sure.
I don't believe this is actually part of the school plans. So either this was put in as a way to get people around safely, or it could have been even to smuggle things. We don't know exactly what the school was originally. Either way.
How far do these go?
I haven't mapped everywhere yet, but I can tell you right now that I know it goes at least around 3/4 of the school.
Something tells me we should carefully map every single tunnel here.
I have been trying to over the last few weeks. I've got some stuff marked down. There's a wall, a doorway, I guess you'd call it, into Remington's office.
Into Remington's office.
Yes, that's come in much help of late, especially with certain visitors coming. There's some into the hall, some into the hallways themselves.
There isn't like it's not like a catacomb situation where there's bodies in the walls, is there? Or coffins?
I haven't seen any myself.
Okay.
You're asking the DM, sorry.
I was ready for you to answer that. I realized you were ready for me to answer, but it was like that hesitation just made it more dramatic anyway, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
I've not seen any bodies apart from those two that tried to sneak up and get to Hatsu.
They knew about these tunnels?
They were using these tunnels. That's why when you saw me take one of them out...
I was wondering where you came from.
Exactly. Now you know.
Well, if that's the case, I'm a little more concerned because that suggests that they had an insider here for sure. How
Absolutely.
could they know?
Hatsu, how well does your family know the school? Like, just would there be knowledge from your area of the school?
Let's phrase it that way. One of Remington's ancestors co-founded the place that my family lives and keeps safe.
Ah, okay.
So there is this kind of connection, and we trust Mr. Remington with our lives.
This could be an ex-student that happened to find this. It could be someone that helped build this place originally, like descendant.
But that would further suggest that these tunnels were made after the school was established to get away in and out for whatever reason.
Was there anyone else in Saigo Natoshi that was involved in creating the school?
Not that I know of.
Mm-hmm.
Roper, can I tell from the foundations of this, because this is obviously underneath, like whether this was put in after or whether this was built as the foundation for the school to go on top of?
Interesting. I would say make a Yeah, I think it's going to be a history check because you're comparing it to the kind of very old architecture. So.
Fair enough. No, that's insight. Roll the right one, Ryan. Nope, not at all. Not even slightly.
6. Matt, you guys are like tops or bottoms with the roll. There's no middle ground with you guys at all today. It's just completely either like highest possible rolls or just like floors.
I have to say I don't like it.
I'll have you know, in general, I'm a top.
But in D&D dice rolls, it's I get it. Yeah, no, you're not quite sure. I will give you this though, even though the roll was low, that it looks old as fuck. It's not something that was put in yesterday, if that makes sense. Like, it looks pretty old. But the school has also got, it's kind of hard to tell because the school has an ability to adapt to what's needed. So it's hard to tell if this just looks that way or is that way. That's
maybe we are all in the back and we just don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should get the others if you are looking to find this vault and scour this place. That's what she was looking for, but I think she failed in finding it.
She did, and it would be nice to have some sort of head start for her when she gets here. I gather she'll be here relatively soon. Or maybe after the winter break, who knows, but...
May I suggest something?
Of course.
I think it would not be a bad idea, since Mr. Remington himself is the very much last line of security in this environment, that maybe I should talk with him about it, because I don't know if he knows.
About this place?
About the tunnels?
If he doesn't already know, I think it might be best keeping it out of his knowledge, for now at least. The reason I say this is because should they come back, the ones from the trial, and let's say they were to pressure him into telling truths, if he didn't know about this place, it would be much better for him. And much better for us if we're trying to save people.
Have you found an entrance from outside the school to these tunnels?
Not so far. But like I said, I haven't mapped everywhere.
Maybe Ayame could help mapping this place as well. She's quite good with that.
I'd happily spend a few hours mapping as well.
I think we should get the whole group and do it if we're going to do it.
And there may be
has some interesting insights into architecture, I'm sure, from her readings. She might be able to lead us a better path.
Absolutely. There may even be a record of these in the library somewhere. I'm sure she would have potentially come across it.
If there isn't, then we know that it's been kept a secret, and I think it should stay that way.
Should we go get her then? I can only assume Slate and Wesley will be a while. Why are they climbing the mountain?
Why does anyone climb a mountain? To get some fresh air? Don't know.
Normally, in our region, we climb mountains and camp in caves to meditate. Maybe they're meditating.
Maybe. Shall we fetch Eos then and see if she has any idea about these tunnels?
Why don't you go and fetch Eos, and I'll go with Hatsu, and we'll go and find the army.
That works for me. Which way out? This way?
No, that leads you straight into the back of the hall. Come this way.
Ah, okay. Thank you.
And I'll lead them both out. Obviously check in through the wall, listening through the wall, checking through the doorway as such, before actually exiting, because I don't want anyone seeing us.
Before we go, could I try... I'd like to use... I assume my disguise kit would have paints. I just want to put like a little marker on the wall where we were. Just kind of mark the way subtly.
Sure. There's no check for that necessary. Also, you can do that, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So I'll just take a little bit of paint from my
Hatsu, with your 3, you find markings on the wall, but then you quickly realize that it was Dash doing that in the first place.
It's the copper all over again.
Yeah, that's right. We have to tell the story sometime. Yeah, absolutely. You make markings and you make your way out and go looking for Eos down by the stables. I'll let you guys decide which group wants to go first. I'm open to either. So either Dashios or Catriana.
Don't use that term.
Dashios, let's go.
Dashios is the number one ship. I will say, I got that in the comments a lot. I hear a lot of people are like Dashios.
Come man.
Start the predictions now.
It's Dashios and Amatsu.
Amatsu, that's what it was. Thank you so much.
What about Slay Me? What happened to Slay Me?
Slay Me. I like that one.
We'll have to see if he makes it off the mountain first.
Well, he'll make it off the mountain.
He'll make it off the mountain, but like alive or dead, it's hard to tell.
At the moment, they have a broken back on the mountain.
Slay you, slay him.
He's gonna break.
Broken back on the mountain. Oh man.
Cool. Let's do Dashios first, though.
Cool.
So I'll leave them at the entrance, so I'll start making my way to the stables. As I'm walking through, I'd like to keep an eye out for Dr. Harrow as well, just in case I kind of
She's
meet
like
her,
right next to you, and you're just like, oh fuck. Yeah. No, it's I'll keep in mind that you're looking for.
Yeah. Cool, but otherwise, yeah, just making my way down to the stables. So hard not to go making my way every time I say that.
Every time.
Every time.
You head back to the stables. Eos, just as you're heading back to the stables from putting your trash sack on top of the things.
There's purpose, don't worry.
Your purple trash sack. You run into Dash, who is
run over him. Oh god.
You run over Dash, who is petting Ducky, and unfortunately you hit Ducky as well. Both gone in the accident. I'm sorry.
Oh shit. Phantom Steed, hang on a second.
Yes, how was your walk?
Really good. Super good. Lovely morning. Why are you outside?
Lovely.
That's what people say to me.
I go outside sometimes. I like outside. I was looking for you. I was having a chat with Madriana and Hatsu, and I got them talking again. I'm not sure if they kind of realize that they're talking to each other, but it's fine. It's working.
Social engineering.
Effectively, yes. You, of all of us, probably noticed how the group was a little bit diverged over the last...
No, perfectly fine.
Anyway, we haven't really been working in sync lately, so I was talking to Remington, and two things. One, Lissa's coming back. She may stay with us. And two, we have a little bit of a task.
In whose room, though?
Well, Wes isn't using his, so I figure probably his, or I can stay on the couch and she can have my room.
Make me a list of things you know about her, and I'll make her room suit her.
Rory, you're such a dick. That's so good. I love that.
Sure. I'll just take out journal and write that down.
Why is your name the first thing on the list? No.
It's always the first thing on the list.
No, that's just because it's my journal, so my name is there. I'm Dash's journal.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, do you remember when she was talking about the vault when she was last here?
Dirty little thief, yes.
Yes, as it turns out, Remington knows about that and has challenged us to find it and get into it as a group. I imagine once we're done here, getting information from secure locations would be a very useful skill to have. So, worth practicing now. Myself and Lissa obviously have done that quite a bit in non-magical settings. We're much less experienced in accessing magical vaults. So that's where the whole group dynamic thing comes in. Myself and Lissa, and I'm going to guess Madriana, are quite effective in those non-magical settings. So the likes of yourself and Slate and maybe Weslin would be excellent companions for these kind of missions down the line.
This is true. There are things that I can do you not have seen yet. So that's good.
I cannot wait to see that.
You may not see it.
I mean, it's terrifying but exciting.
Dashios.
What's that voice in the distance?
Oh, sorry. I'm just cleaning my horse, sir. Sorry about that, madam. Sorry.
Oh, look, NPC, tell us your very detailed backstory.
How did you know that my name was Neil Patrick Chris?
Neil Patrick Chris.
NPC for short. I knew it was Neil Patrick Chris. Carry on, I derailed. I apologize.
Oh, that's great.
One more thing, actually. Did you know that there's tunnels in the school?
No.
Secret tunnels.
I
Lissa...
also didn't know about the bathroom on the 5th floor. That's not a thing.
The one with the mermaids?
You found it.
I've heard
Why
it.
were you in the female bathroom?
Don't ask me questions, I won't lie to you.
I gotta hang off with that as well, like my mantra. Don't ask me questions, I won't lie.
Yes, so Amidriana and Lissa found tunnels in the school. The same tunnels those assassins that came for Hatsu also knew about. So we need to try and, with the head, we need to try and map those tunnels. We're wondering if you would have come across anything in the library that would reference it.
Oh, probably. Is it time for class? Meet me in the library in 3 hours with the list of things.
Very well. Okay. I'll see you later then. Thanks, Eos.
No problem. Don't dash away.
Does that count as a dash button? Do we need to put that in the counter?
No, that's from Dash.
No!
Only from Dash.
Only from Dash. As Dash, as you're heading back, you see Madriana and Hatsu walking past, trying to head towards the stickerines, is that what we called it? Because that's where Ayami would be. Sorry, we'd see Hatsu and Madriana walking that way. Did I say that? My brain is mush. Yeah, perfect.
So Hatsu kind of approaches in the way that he would know she would recognize him immediately just by the sheer presence. And he stops and he bows.
Eos never saw her, but you do, as she steps out from behind the tree. She bows as well, and she lets you know that she's been watching the stick figures for quite some time, and all that she's noticed that's strange is just that Eos came and left a bag of trash over there. Like she left a little purple bag.
An Aldi bag.
An Aldi bag, yeah. Torn Aldi bag. Togs hanging out of it. Like, yeah.
Well, thank you for observing that area as requested. But we might have another job for you, as Madriana could tell you more about it.
Hey. That was the one thing I took from, I've been watching the show you recommended, Biz. They always just go, hey, when they're like confirming something. I love that.
What I got from that was Rob Schneider in I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. But okay.
Hi.
Yeah, hi.
No, hi just means yes.
Yeah. It's just the way he said it sounded like him. Anyway, so it seems we may have a bit of a job within the school. A couple of things really. One, Dash wants to break into a vault. It's okay though, don't worry. And it seems that Hatsu here wants to set up not a secret police, but at least a secret watch of some sort. And we are aware of some hidden tunnels beneath the school. We'd like your help to map it out and to try and make it usable for what we would need it for.
And
Hatsu
if
is
I
sure.
might add, also keep an eye in between, because the ones from the tribe, you know, they might came the same way.
That was where I was tailing them until they got to our dormitory. So they are very much aware of that area.
Okay. She nods and she accepts the mission, but she confirms it visually. Thank you so much. She confirms it visually with Hatsu first to make sure that this is what he wants as well, because he can only take a certain. She can only take kind of following orders from him. So even though you did say listen to what a major has to say, she does confirm with Hatsu that this is what is wanted as well.
He kind of nods slightly and gives her like a hand sign for which means high priority.
Okay. She accepts that and she nods, yeah. Yeah, she nods and accepts that, but she's going to stick with you to find out where the tunnels are, unless you want to explain to her where they are. Whichever is fine.
We'll lead her through.
Okay.
So tell me though, on our way back, what is the deal with Hatsu? Why is he so what's the word? Restrained.
Is Hatsu just there too, or are you just asking this in front of Hatsu? Or you two?
No, I've kind of pulled her
I
away
was
a little
about
bit.
to say, you know that I can hear you, right?
Hatsu's between you two. You're leaning across him to ask her.
No. I've pulled her away a little bit. He probably still can hear though, because he's a nosy bollock.
Coming from you, it's like, yeah, they're up the mountain that Eos is out by the stables. You know everything.
Since Hatsu
make a
has
lot of noise.
experienced some women doing women things which he doesn't understand,
Oh my god.
he
Dad is
kind
gonna
of goes. He's gonna go a little bit ahead, like to give them some room.
So the women can do their women things. Gotcha.
I thought we got cancelled.
It was a good last session, boys. I really enjoyed it.
I mean, like, there's things that women have going on that men just can't understand, so they, you know, maybe she wants to talk about stuff like that. He doesn't know. He's innocent.
Okay. Well, once they finish talking about their first period or whatever it is that Hatsu thinks they're talking about, they will move.
That's how women work. Yeah.
That's how it will work, right? Where's the pillow fight? Yeah, no,
Teenage movies lied to me.
Right, yeah.
You're going to change the title to the Wandering Sorority, are we?
What is the sorority? Yeah, sorority. So she looks towards Hatsu and looks back at you, and she thinks for a moment. You can see this look of contemplation across her face, and she sort of looks towards you and she just says, discipline. He is disciplined.
I understand discipline, but it seems more than that. It seems like discipline without room for anything else.
In recent years, he changed. He used to be a lot more open and fun, but responsibility comes like a wave in the ocean. And those waves only rise greater and greater. And as the responsibility came for him, not just to help raise his brother and to be a part of his family and to do right by his family, but when the bad things came, he stepped up to be an even greater force for those who needed it. And that responsibility made him a lot more serious.
Came for you.
Our opportunities for growth rarely come when we ask them to. And they never come at the right time. But our responsibility is to step up and use these opportunities for greatness to become better people. There are those who let that burden of responsibility crush them, and they become dark, twisted. And then there are those who like Hatsu, use them as the burden of responsibility as an opportunity to become a much better person. I'm jealous of his capabilities for carrying such burdens on his shoulders. She just sort of nods and continues walking. One thing you do notice, Madriana, as you guys are walking, you're leaving footprints, Hatsu's leaving footprints, she isn't. In the sand, she's walking so lightly, there's barely anything noticeable at all. She's intentionally being as stealthy as humanly possible, even in this moment. It's just a given nature to her. And the only reason I point that out is because you specifically said you notice these things about people. So I'm giving you this as like an inside thing. It's not necessarily something you're specifically like, oh, this is, like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like that. It's just something you're passively picking up with your crazy passive perception.
Yeah. Making sure that I notice the things about people.
But
cool.
Given the opposite for Dash, having no passive perception at all, you also see his footprints in the sand and they're heavy as shit as you walk back. Like, you're following his footprints back to the castle.
He didn't pick his feet up, did he? He just dragged them.
Yeah, it's just a long line.
It's like a sand train. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Like a child.
Yeah. Or like a
So you can't tell it's so buried in there. You can't tell it's one person. It could be many people.
No, it's definitely just you.
So, damn it.
Apart from like every half a yard, there's this lump where his foot's obviously stopped, and then the next one's gone. And then...
Yeah.
Do that thing where you think too hard about walking and you forget how to walk.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
You did the fucking madness walk. Like,
Yeah.
just fucking...
Oh yeah. 100%. So as you guys follow Dash's train of sand back to the school. Yeah, that's where she's at.
All aboard the Dash train. Whoop, whoop.
That's what he said as he walked alone in the sand.
I always imagined Dash as a boat kind of type of guy, not a train.
It's just like Dash walking back talking to himself. Where's boat shoes?
Where's boat
All
shoes?
I know is, right now, we're all stood back as Dash walks away and the fucking Green Day starts playing over the tannoy. Like,
He's
walk
completely
a
agree,
lonely
yeah.
road.
100%.
Definitely a fan.
Yeah, I guess I lead them all through. I'm gonna ask Ayami to be unseen, especially during this part. I don't. So basically, okay, Ayami, I wonder if you wouldn't mind. If we get found of being known of this place, if one of these fools here happens to walk out the door and let everyone know where it is, I don't want it to be with you involved as well. I want them to make sure that they don't know you're part of this. I think that's a benefit to you and it's a benefit to us if we do this. So how about I might be able to keep an eye on you, but make sure that nobody else keeps an eye that you're coming in with us.
She nods and she moves away and joins another crowd that are walking in with almost a seamless blend. Like, they probably don't even realize she's a part of the group. It's just, she's there.
Like that Altair thing with the monks in the first Assassin's Creed trailer.
Yeah. Or just like the thing where it's like, he walks in and he just sits down amongst people and starts just like sitting there and guards walk by and stuff. Yeah, just the complete blend. Assassin's Creed lends itself very well to rogues and stealthy folk in this game for sure. Yeah, so she sort of moves with the crowd and moves inward, but sticks nearby you guys, sort of moving through different crowds and different streams of people to make sure that she's near you, but not with you, if that makes sense.
Right, okay. Yeah, so I'll lead them through. Give Eos a little like nod, like I'm assuming she's been updated kind of thing, and yeah, I once we get to a point where we're say it like a hallway away, I'm gonna turn around and give the nod to all of them, like shush, like don't be seen. And yeah, I'm gonna do this as stealthily as possible. If I feel like one of these are being too noisy, I'll either try to help them not be so noisy, or I'll make sure that they get diverted until they start being quiet.
Right, okay. Yeah.
DM, can I
Go ahead.
catch up there?
Yeah,
Have
you
we
can
time skipped?
Nope. You guys are just kind of all together moving through this. It was just they happened to be going past with you.
Okay, all right.
Dash said that he left Eos specifically, so you were still back at the stable. So at this point, I'll say you're just coming in behind them. Yeah.
Okay, because I had different arrangements with Dash.
Okay, you can go with Dash if you want to. That's okay.
No, but like,
We're
again,
3 hours away. I think that's
Yeah.
not
Oh,
happened
sorry.
yet.
Got you. I'll let them.
because he was going to go to class and then work library.
Got you. I'll let them push forward to get to the thing, and then I'll jump to you where Dash is regrouping with you as well. He'll take you in through the tunnels too.
Yeah, sorry to kill the vibe, but I was lost.
You're okay. No, I think I got confused too. So basically, as he was just leaving, they were passing. So somewhere in that 3 hour window is what they are doing at the moment. We're doing a lot of time jumping. Somewhere up on the mountain, the boys are looking at a dragon. So, like there's just, time is relative.
Life is relative to them.
That's it. And still might be. As Amadriana, Hatsu, and Ayami make their way towards the entrance, to be shown around, Slate and Westland are still climbing. Dash, what are you doing for this sort of 3 hours to prepare for your meeting with Eos?
Is there classes today?
I don't think so. I think we arranged that they went up the mountain on a weekend, so I don't think you actually have classes. Yeah, because wasn't it that the whole point that you guys went up on the weekend or something? I vaguely remember. So
I think it was the end of the week or something.
Yeah. I need to check the calendar. I do have an in-game one. So
We need to check the
I
calendar.
think classes were cancelled for this week, right? There was something.
Oh, is this still the trail end of that week? Yeah, could
Yeah.
be, could be a thing. Yeah, I think we moved forward though, so I'm not entirely sure. I need to check because it's been like in IRL, it's been 20 days since we played, so it's like, or 21 days now, so it's like it's been a minute.
There
so.
was a time skip for a couple months.
We did have a 2-month time skip as well, so but I think you guys climbed the mountain on the weekend, so like there was that. I think you guys left on like the Friday or Saturday morning or something, and then
Cool. So a nice chill Sunday.
Nice chill Sunday.
Cool.
As they tumble
cool.
down the mountain to get here on time for Monday. Yeah.
Dash will go grab lunch.
Cool. Not really thinking about anything that he has to do. Got it.
Oh, no, thinking about stuff as well, but just go grab lunch.
I wonder what type of suit I should wear. 3-piece or 4-piece today?
Fucking 6 pieces. Just like 4 waistcoats, just walking around like that.
Brother-in-law lunch fitting in there.
More pockets.
More pockets.
Yeah, I'll go grab some lunch, and then I'll go back to the tunnels for an hour kind of before the guys get there and just have a little nosy around, have a look for, and just mark what I can see. Not go too far deep, just mark a few more that I'm like, okay, I've been to this one. Just a little kind of subtle marking with the paint from the disguise kit.
Of course, yeah.
And then head back to meet Neos in the library after around 3 hours have passed.
Nice.
While still keeping an eye out for Dr. Harrow as well.
Sure. You won't see her too much because she would be in her lab at this time. So when you're meeting up with, let's sort of move towards the EOS thing so we can get Rory wrapped into this as well and have like the group kind of back together a little bit. So when you meet up with EOS, how are you presenting this? Like you meet up with her and she gave you homework, so.
Yeah. So I'll go into the library. I assume EOS is there. Okay, so EOS. What do you want to do first? Will we have a look for references for the tunnels, and then we can go and I think the guys are going to actually explore the tunnels, so we can go and do that. Or do you want the list of stuff for
list first, please?
Okay, sure. So what's useful for a room? She likes, her favorite colors. She likes kind of emerald green, deep, rich indigos, black, of course. Her favorite smells are like leather, night blooming jasmine. Yeah, if you got the smell of nice real leather. It's beautiful, kind of hearty scent. Most of her gear is leather as well, so I guess it's kind of nostalgic, and there's lots of leather workers around Balperoth as well. She likes the smell of night blooming jasmine. I don't know if you're familiar with that flower. It does smell quite nice. Just smells in the evening, kind of as the sun is setting, it tends to release its scent. And petrichor, after a fresh rain, the smell of rain hitting the hot ground, it's nice, refreshing. We don't get it often in Balperoth, so when it's there, it's like it breathes new life into the city. It's really nice. She loves the black dahlia flower. I guess it's like her. It's elegant and mysterious. Moonflower as well. The one that blooms at night. She really likes that. You probably guess her favorite time of day is just like twilight, just when the sun has just gone down. The transition between day and night just kind of captures that balance between light and darkness. That's very her. She likes soft cello music or maybe piano. Kind of like almost background music, the kind of mysterious vibes. No, but anyway, she likes that. Red wine. She loves a nice glass of red wine, similar to myself. And reading, particularly reading about like history or ancient artifacts, stuff like that. So she likes, old books. And again, the smell of leather-bound books are something she likes.
How long have you known her, Dash?
12 minutes.
Cool. I don't know, to be honest. It's been a while. We used to kind of work against each other. Then we ended up working together, and that kind of, I didn't realize I knew this much about her.
It's a lot. I was just gonna decorate her room, but this is a lot, and this is actually perfect. Hopefully I'll get to know her better. And
she'd love that. She really wants to be included, so I'm trying to make an effort to make her feel part of the team.
Excellent. Well, you did your favor for me. Here's my favor for you, like Slate would say with his magic little red book of danger. So, Aisle F. In there, you're going to find some architectural stuff. Do be aware, of course, this being the school library, it's a bit censored. It may not be everything you need, but I'm going to make a cuppa. I'll meet you there. We'll go through it together.
Should we have a quick look now and then go look at... Would you like to see the tunnels? Or would you like to dig through the books first? What's your preference?
Knowledge is power. Book first.
Books first. Cool. Would you mind making me some tea also?
Of course. You want anything stronger?
Tea's good. Tea's good for research. Yeah.
Do you take sugar, milk, or are you sweet enough?
A bit of sugar would be nice.
How many?
Maybe a dash of milk.
Okay, I'll meet you there.
Shit.
You asked for that one.
So yeah, I make teas, head down to him in aisle F. There's little, those like, when you're like a shoe store, there's like those low stools for the boyfriends and such to chill out while, there's that. So, gonna meet him there, see what he comes up with.
Yeah, so while she's come making the tea, I'll go and start having a look for a book that might reference the tunnels.
And we shall jump into that literature after the break. We will take a little pause here because it is pushing 9 for us. What we'll do is we'll probably take 10 minutes. Richard, I know you have to do something during the break. Is 10 enough for you? Are you good with 10, or do you need a bit more?
No, plenty.
10's plenty. We'll take 10 minutes. You guys can do a boss battle in the meantime. It'll be an easy boss battle. Prediction is up. I think it's actually just finished. We'll be back then in 10 minutes, and we can pick up then with the book and the learning and EOS pouring our tea over Dash's head for some reason. Perfect. That's it. Excellent. We'll see you shortly. Adios. Hey, we're back. That was a quick 10 minutes. That was almost 11 minutes. It was 11 minutes. Oh my god, I'm sorry. We did not defeat the boss, sorry. But you did really well. And good job. And we're all happy, right? Right? Especially John, who won 10.7k channel points. Oh my god.
That's because he lost them on the first fight.
Yep. He's gonna release Only Beards soon.
Oh, he's getting there.
And
he's like the soccer referee that made the game fail and bet against.
I wouldn't mind, but I lost the hell of points there. I put a lot of points in this winning. When I saw easy boss, I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. All right, so we rejoin our group. We'll shift to the group being somewhat together after we rejoin the library. We'll still be down Slate and Westland, but I will come back to them then in a little bit. I will start with Dash and Eos where we left off. We will pick up there, find out what's going on with the library. We will then merge you with the people in the tunnels, and after that we will jump to Slate and Westland. I know I wanted to scream that so many times during that part. All right, so we're back with the group for Eos and Dash. So you guys wanted to do some library stuff, is it?
Yes. I'd like to look for a book that might detail any architectural history of the school, any rumors of, comings and goings, magical rooms appearing and disappearing, magical routes that might appear. Anything that I can think of that would be connected to the tunnels. I'll kind of start as Eos has gone off to make the tea, and I'll see hope for a bit of assistance once she is back with said tea.
It
is not going to record in my head.
It is a direct history check, but for the sake of narrative, if you're doing it twice, I can let her also roll one, or you can roll with advantage. It's up to you.
Can I give him advantage due to my certain background feature?
Well, remind me what it is, but probably.
Researcher.
Oh yeah, you can, of course.
Yeah. Sure, yeah. I'll roll that. That is a 16.
16.
This is a book.
That's that book. You search high and low. Eos, you come back with tea for both of you. You both slurp on some tea, and then just fucking lash that tea down. And then you you continue your research. There is nothing high nor low of secret tunnels within the confines of this school.
So, yet again, I find myself at a loss. I suppose it tells us as much as it doesn't, the fact that there isn't any references to be easily found about secret tunnels under the school.
This is the way, Dash. This is a school library. Some of these books are censored, some are not. You've seen perhaps the books over there, half the pages blacked out, except for a few select words.
My worry, I don't know if worry is the correct description here, but my worry is that those who built the school were not the ones who built the tunnels, and that they may have been built for more nefarious means.
It's possible. Back home, I read stories about things like thieves' guilds and smugglers and ports. Who's to say such things back then may not exist now, but in a different form?
I'm somewhat familiar with thieves' guilds.
Are you part of one?
No. I mean, not officially. I guess interacted, but I'm aware of them. I keep adjacent to their goings on, but I don't like to get directly involved. They can be a difficult bunch, let's say.
Powerful resource, though.
Excellent resource.
The knowledge of eons with inside their very symbols and insignias. Incredible.
Yes, but the whole, nails into the tips of the fingers thing kind of not quite as nice. How do you feel about some field research?
Yeah, let's do it.
Very well, follow me. I'll lead us to the tunnel entrance.
At that point, you're regrouping with Madriana, Ayami, and Hatsu, who are already within the secret tunnel.
Secret tunnel.
I shout down the tunnel. Secret tunnel!
It echoes through. Everybody now knows where the tunnel is. Perfect. Yeah.
Just as we're walking through, just point out to Eos, look, these little markings that I've made here, I've made those so we know that we have already encountered this particular path in the tunnel. Now, eventually they'll fill up. We know we'll have encountered them all, at which point we'll have to make a new marking to dictate direction. But just for the moment, this one we know, etc., marking it as we go. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'll take out my hand axe and have it ready.
Cool.
In case Dash gets too close to you. Got it.
Understandable.
Understandable. Yeah, as you guys go into the tunnel, you regroup, and it's sort of the five of you within the confines of the tunnel.
Hatsu kind of sneaks behind Dash and taps on his shoulder. I see you finally made it.
Yes. Nothing in the library about secret tunnels.
Is there any chance you might want to keep your voice a bit lower?
I would love to if I wasn't being jump scared.
How do you not hear him coming?
I don't know.
Okay.
If I knew how I didn't, then I would.
I think the best way for us to do this, if we're going to efficiently mark this out, is two teams. One goes down towards the east corridors, one goes down towards the west corridors. Eventually we'll meet back up in the center, and where we can do the south side of the corridors together. What do you think?
Sounds like a strategy.
Yeah, makes sense. Let's do it.
I know I shouldn't have to say this, but considering certain party members, I'm going to. Do it as quietly as possible. Don't let people know you're here. Please, please do not let people know the ways into this. If you're checking out areas, make sure not to be seen.
Dash, you're taking all this in and you're nodding, and you look around and realize everybody's staring at you.
Why are you all looking at me?
You're just in front of me, that's all.
Why are you all looking at me? He says in this like bright white suit that's basically glowing by itself.
Yeah. Right.
Well, come on, daylight's burning. Let's get moving.
Hatsu, if it'd be agreeable to you, I might ask Ayami to go on an opposite team to you, as you both seem to have particular skills.
Sure.
That leaves me, Eos, and Dash. Where would you like to go, Eos?
Who's that?
Who's who?
The new girl.
Oh, that's Ayami.
Oh.
Hatsu's.
You probably don't usually see her because she's rather good at staying hidden. This is Hatsu's
She bows towards you, yes.
friend?
Friend? Okay.
Girlfriend? I'm not sure.
Wife?
Yes. No disrespect, Hatsu. I just didn't know how to introduce her, so I'll allow you to do it.
Well, I think I've introduced already, but for Eos, this is Ayame Fujiwara from the Fujiwara clan, and our families are allies, and she's here to assist.
She does quite a deep bow towards all of you.
So nice to meet you.
I've been waiting to use this song for the right moment, and I've been waiting for Dash to do some sneaking, so I will say that for 14 episodes I've been sitting on this song waiting for this, so here we go.
Please tell me it's Pink Panther.
Why is it called the Foolish Mouse?
Don't worry about it, Dash. It's just, I don't know, there's just something about it that feels like a circus show for Dash, and it suits.
I just gotta see that works. Yeah.
So Dash, I'll start with you. if you wouldn't mind, please give me a stealth check as we begin marking tunnels.
Just to check, so the two different teams first, though, it's going to be Iami, Dash, and Eos, if that's cool, and then me and Hatsu the other way.
Okay. Well, Eos, you're lucky. I'm going to give you a chance to roll a stealth check to counterbalance Dash's 11, please.
I'm going to do something a little bit better.
Just going to kill him outright.
Oh, can't use it. What?
What is it? Oh.
Choo-choo.
Oh, shit. Dash, you turn around. You're creaking on the floor, and you turn around, and you feel like a little, just like a little on the back of your head, but there's no one there.
For 1 hour.
For 1 hour, there's no one there.
Yeah, did you see where?
I mean, technically you hit him, so that's an attack, so it disappears.
I'll count it as a gesture.
The slap was the split second before the turn.
Yeah. You look around and Aomi is definitely not there either. You can't see her.
What the fuck? I thought we were supposed to be a team.
We are.
God, what the
Stop talking so loud.
I am way in over my head.
Doc.
I love that Dash has a complex. Am I the worst rogue in this school? Because everybody just disappears around him all the time.
Girls, I'll leave it up to you to make sure he gets into no mischief.
This is a
Who's
task.
mischief?
This is a task too great for even I.
Yeah, and I'll set off the other way with Hatsu.
Eos, I'll give you advantage on a stealth check. You can still be heard, so I still need a stealth check from you, but
Of course.
yeah, you have advantage from your invisibility.
Donkey.
Probably like Nightmare Before Christmas vibes, like kind of Tim Burton music and stuff. Danny Elfman. 16. You you sneak through the tunnels without being noticed. It's easy enough, and you start jotting down the different locations and directions that these tunnels do take you, which is quite beneficial. What I'll say is Ayami's going to grant advantage to one of you. I don't mind which one, but I'm going to get you guys to do a history check to see. Well, I'll give you investigation history. I'll give you just to jot this down as you're going. Either the investigation being the future or history being the past if you go through tunnels. But one of you has advantage. Who wants it?
Do you want to take that one, Eos?
Cool. Go for it.
Okay. Investigation advantage, yeah.
Please.
Perfection. It's not great.
Perfection. That wasn't great. With an 8, yeah, no, you're having difficulty.
It was so Brooklyn Nine-Nine coded.
Yeah, that was. You have
any inspos or anything?
Mm-hmm.
Any inspos or anything?
I'll keep that.
Fair.
These tunnels are quite daunting. You don't realize how many there actually are. So for the first part of this, it's like, oh, we're taking note of what the different tunnels are and all of that, and then suddenly it's just. Yeah, no, it's like it's almost painful to try and jot down how much is going on here. There's a lot.
And I'm concentrating pretty hard as it already is.
You are concentrating pretty hard, and plus watching Dash is like a full-time job to make sure he doesn't get up to anything. So it's kind of like babysitting, basically. You're doing a lot.
The Babysitters Club.
Babysitters Club, yeah, that's it. So it becomes a very daunting task, Eos, for you to do this, even with the help of everyone. But that in itself is quite kind of telling, because you're like how big and how far does this go? How big are these tunnels? They go up, they go down, they go across the school, they go out towards the stables beneath the ground. There's like, these tunnels are vast. This is not just a simple, they go to several rooms throughout the school. This is like, this is pretty crazy. Hatsu and Madriana. I can't remember what was your combo name again? Don't remind me. Amatsu, yeah. So Amatsu, you guys are going through your side of the tunnels.
Sounds like Italian soup. Is it Matsu?
I want the Nimatsu. Yeah, like it's. Did I just get banned in Italy? Is that just what happened? It's
Yep.
I meant it
that
with
one
love,
time
I
you broke
swear.
spaghetti in half.
I love Italy, I swear.
You did cut your spaghetti with a fucking.
You
Yeah.
swore you'd never tell,
What's the
Busy.
thing? Scissors?
Yeah, knife and fork, and just I could eat with the scissors, yeah. Just breaking it in half, putting it in pots. I'm just making Italians cry. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's. Yeah, Matsu, sorry. I'll get you guys. One of you can do the roll, both of you can do the roll. It's up to you. Again, it's investigation or history for you to decide what you learn about the tunnels. So,
Just to be fair, do you want the stealth check first?
oh, sorry. Yeah, please, you guys roll stealth as well. Yeah, I need stealth.
23.
Oh, shit. 12.
Okay. Madriana, you are
The
doing
rules
very well.
suck today.
Yeah, you got, well, it's one or the other. Like, you guys either do really well or just don't. Madriana, you are almost laughably quieter than Hatsu, who just keeps, it's not on purpose. You just keep hitting those spots on the floor that just creak, but because you don't know these tunnels, it's hard for you to dissect which one is which. It's actually a little bit probably hurting your pride in some ways, Hatsu. What is my camera doing? Yeah, so it's hurting your pride a little bit, I think, Hatsu. Yeah, I'll get you guys. So who wants to make the check for me while I try and fix this crazy camera?
He sucks at both, so
All right,
I would
Okay,
happily pass.
Yeah, I can do it. So advantage, is it?
please, if you don't mind.
Oh, I'm fucking so glad of that. That's a 14 only.
14. You are having the same difficulties that they are. These tunnels are a lot bigger than you realize. There is tons and tons and tons of pathways. This is not something that'll be conquered in an afternoon. This is something that'll take a substantial amount of time for you to figure out and learn.
I have an inspo. Can I try that again?
If you want to use your inspiration for that, you absolutely can.
Natural.
Damn.
Good use of
20.
info.
Yes.
Everything I said was wrong. It would be done in an afternoon.
That's why you use your inspos, guys.
You start to figure out the pattern. The pattern is that it goes as needed. You are within the confines of the walls, but there are rooms on rooms on rooms that are connected. In fact, the only rooms that don't get connected to this are any of those rooms that would be locked. So, for example, you cannot seem to find a way into Dr. Howe's room. The other part of it is bedrooms and dorms. They lead towards the dorm areas, as in outside the dorm rooms. They do not lead inside the dorm rooms. Besides that, and any apparent rooms like that are locked and stuff, there isn't something that stands out. Any of the rooms that appear to be open seem to be connected in a way to this tunnel.
Okay, and do we notice any of these rooms that have what Lissa had described as what she knew about the vault and stuff?
Lissa spent a lot of time in these tunnels and in this maze or labyrinthian setup. She never really found the vault, so she wanted Dash's help to do it, right?
But she had info on what it looked like, right? Because that's how she knew what room to look for.
She knew what she was looking for. She didn't necessarily find that information through these tunnels.
Right, okay. Then I guess, did we find anything that would lead us to think, okay, this is the room?
Almost like as if you just couldn't, because you are looking and you know you're checking everywhere. With a nat 20, you know you're checking everywhere. Why the fuck can't you find that vault?
Right. When we meet back up, how did you get on?
It's just Dash.
Yeah,
Eos has
I
disappeared. Ayami steps out of the shadows, but yeah, it's just Dash.
Wait, what was their stealth rolls?
Eos had had invisibility
16?
on, but what? Oh, you would know Eos is there, at least by the sound of her footsteps. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Wait, before we even get to that, I lost Eos. I don't know where the fuck she went.
She's
But, like,
right next
immediate-
to you. Don't
What?
worry.
In this case, you would actually hear Ayami as well.
Well done, girls, for looking after him. I hope he wasn't too much of a bother.
I dropped concentration. No problem.
How did you... Fucking wizards.
Sure.
Did you find
That's
anything?
so cool.
It's amazing.
Scary.
It's a labyrinth. I can't figure it out. There's cat poop, there's dog poop, there's rat poop. I stepped in guana?
That's very possible down here.
Wipe my shoe off some bricks.
So, Eos, would you consider these tunnels magical in some capacity as the rooms would be?
Well, the fact they line up to the room so significantly well, and even under the stables, even the greatest architect that I've ever read about wouldn't be able to figure that out. There's definitely some magical influence behind this.
Well,
she's saying it. Hatsu is trying to focus his imagination hard on a pathway to a room with a giant vault. Like as kind of he would meditate to manifest some of his thoughts.
Okay. Nothing around you changes room of requirement style, but you are starting to envision like a vault of sorts and try and process that and try and figure things out while they're discussing and talking. Yeah.
Did you all make sure to mark the new paths that you found so we're not doubling back?
I know exactly where the path leads, don't worry.
Yes,
I'm not concerned about you, I'm concerned about if one of us ends up here by ourselves.
He's definitely
Yes,
talking
I
about
mean
himself.
me.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll give a Madriana my sketch of the maps and a little smiley face and the sun in the corner.
Adriana, you definitely know it's wrong. Whether or not you want to point that out or not is up to you, but you definitely know this isn't 100% accurate.
What a beautiful sun, Eos.
Oh, thank you. See that there? That's why I stepped on the iguana. See the sad face? Yeah.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure you've stepped in worse. You do have a horse after all.
I get used to that. This stuff is sticky.
So what's this scale of ranking system like? Is it like super frowny face to neutral face to sun face? Is there 3 or is there more?
Oh, there's more.
You should make stickers.
Dash is asking because he only has 3 emotions. Horny, happy, and sad.
Oh, don't forget drunk. Is that an emotion?
That's not an emotion, that's a state
That's
of being.
more a reaction.
State of mind.
Anyway,
Well, what does this horny mean? Does it mean he gets horns? I don't understand that.
It means that the female influence has its way with him.
Oh, he has a female influence? What does that mean?
I'm not explaining.
Basically, it means you want to fuck.
He also covers Hatsu's ears.
So you're talking reproduction. I gotcha.
Shit.
Yes.
Practicing for reproduction rather than the actual.
Guys, you're too loud.
I
Secret
love the idea that Eos actually thinks Hatsu is like 10 years old. Like, I really like this sweet moment of she's trying to protect him from this.
Yeah, headphones on.
Secret tunnels. Shh.
Also, I'm not always that horny.
Shut up, Dash.
We have the tunnels mapped, but I haven't found this room. So there's some sort of magical influence stopping us from seeing it. Is this anything you're able to deal with, Eos?
Eos sits down, crosses her legs, and she closes her eyes. And I'm going to do an Arcana check to get a vibe.
Getting a vibe check. What are you looking for specifically?
If I can feel the sense of presence where the magic is coming from, like a little compass, and trying to orientate myself.
Okay.
Can I try and mimic her just for the hell of it?
There isn't particularly an Arcana check for like compass. But talk to me a little bit more about what you're trying to accomplish with an Arcana check specifically.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get a sense of where we are right now. If I previously, not to the sense of books, have ever read anything about labyrinths, mazes, or even my trial specifically as an example of being in a situation where you're in a labyrinth or maze and knowing how to get out magically or get through it magically.
Okay. So under the assumption that this is a magical entity or labyrinth, you're wondering how to navigate it through any literature that you've read before.
Yeah.
But in an arcane sense rather than just a historic sense of like walk to the left until you get out, basically. Or walk to the right, whichever. Yeah. There are spells out there that are designed to help you get through situations like this. Although, to the best of my knowledge, you don't know any at this point. But when you... How do I say this in a non-metagaming way? As you gain power, that might be something that's within your wheelhouse down the line. And it might be something that you are currently considering investigating for future power increases.
Perfect. I get up, brush myself off. I've heard of it, read about it, but I don't know it.
Could I, just because it's something I feel like Dash would do, can I try mimic kind of what Eos was doing? And
make him step and shit.
And except Dash's kind of knowledge of magic would be look for something shiny and sparkly.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that. I'd be more history than Arcana from you, but yeah, we can do that. Eos, the spell is called Find the Path. It's 6th level, but it's worth for that. Yep.
Jesus Christ. Well, definitely don't know that.
Dash, you...
we will get there.
I'll get there. I rolled a 6.
Background session 152.
For the podcast, actually, Eos got a 19 there. And Dash got a 6. So, Dash, you are like Miles Morales looking at Peter Parker and trying to copy everything that Peter Parker does to try and get that right vibe, but you're actually so concentrated on that you're not actually doing anything. So
yeah, just accidentally doing Tai Chi.
While she makes peppermint tea. Exactly. Perfect. Yeah, so that's where we're at the moment. Ayami watches on in confusion as you both do these things. But yeah.
Well, Dash, I don't know what you're expecting us to do, but it seems like we're at a bit of a dead end.
If it were easy, then we wouldn't have been set as a challenge. Also, we never specifically determined that the tunnels were going to lead us to this vault.
No, but if you have a better idea of where we can go now, that would be much easier.
It sounds to me that you are reverse engineering a plan that has already been laid out without all of the information. Perhaps we should figure out where that information is, and then we will be in the correct position to do this.
You see, the information we had has been scared away by Dash.
It's coming back. And I didn't scare her away. I drove her away, which is a very different way of looking at it.
Do you have a mirror in your room, Dash?
Just take the espresso kid. That was fucking good. Just take it, man.
I have a mirror, yes.
Didn't scare her away. I drove her away.
When you're sore, tired, weak, do you ever look at yourself or you just go to bed first?
I look at myself. Yes.
What do you see?
In a literal sense, or are we talking philosophical?
If you have it, philosophical.
I see a much younger version of myself that resembles what it was like in the days after my father left.
You left?
Left, was taken, murdered. I'm not sure.
How old were you?
Young.
How old are you now compared to then?
Oh, It's like 20 years ago.
Okay. And your mother, based on what you said, she's done multiple different jobs up to now, so she's been fulfilling the role of a father and a mother at the same time.
Mostly just been a seamstress.
And a jeweler.
Yeah, and a coal miner and
A carpenter.
babysitter. Yeah.
No. I mean, she had to buy coal, but I don't recall her ever going down to the mines.
Have you ever
What's your point here?
felt the need to step up to be your own father?
Ew.
Yeah, are you trying to get that he wants to bang his mum? He asked,
No, I'm telling him to grow up.
Oh.
Oh. Oh, well, I've heard that before.
Okay.
I could choose to be much more mature, I'm sure, but don't be in any rush to grow up. It is a trap.
No, it's just that when the wind blows and you see the fire in the forest, it might be you who needs to run in with the bucket of water, not stand and wait and shout.
You might recall I have no qualms about running towards the fire.
And your mother wasn't a firefighter, I get it. But you need to wear the shoes of your father soon. Otherwise you will perish.
I will stick to my own shoes. For now.
Ayame, what kind of tea do you like?
Oh Christ. Hatsu, what kind of tea does she like?
Ginseng.
Oh, nice.
It's matcha tea, green tea, basically.
Ah, matcha tea. Okay, yeah, I'll go with that.
Perfect.
Thank you, Ben.
Okay. I don't know what you're doing this evening, but if you want a cup of tea, drop in. We're a welcoming bunch for the most part.
She looks to Hatsu for permission to do such things. She sort of looks at Hatsu to see if it's okay that she drops in for tea.
Oh, sorry, I didn't get that you
You're
were
okay.
talking. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. He's fine. He just nods.
You know, it's okay. Yeah, cool.
Well, there's no point standing here.
Yeah, we might spoil the secret if we keep talking.
I wouldn't mind a nice cup of your peppermint tea, actually, Eos.
Should
we head back to the room?
Heck yeah, it's been weeks. When was the last time we actually hung out?
2 days ago.
Feels like weeks, that's for sure. There's been a lot going on.
Should we be worried about the other two?
Gone hiking. Don't worry.
Do you trust them not to die?
No. But
That's their
honestly, the way that Westland has been going, feels like that was an inevitable thing sooner rather than later.
And I might want to add that Chicken is with him, right? So it will be good.
Hmm.
As long as he's got Chicken, he'll be good.
What is that fox?
If you truly believe that's a fox, that might be your first
Oh, that
issue.
is definitely not a fox.
It's a dog, remember? And then Adriana starts walking away.
Red dog.
Red dog.
Madrurua. As you guys head down the tunnels and head back, we find ourselves atop the mountain. No winds, no clouds, no strain. Just peace. As you guys rest and look towards the temple down the way, talk to me.
I feel like, as I said, being as spent as I was, I would be inclined to take as much rest time as possible, and I don't think it would be, I think it would just be a necessity. It would just be pure verging on exhaustion, and very much just being happy to be alive, to have made it as far as we did, because there was a couple of close calls, and just elated to be there.
Wilson is equally exhausted. Has just kind of starfished on the ground. We've made it to this point, and it is, still somewhat of a sense of urgency to complete whatever it drove him to come here. But for now, at this moment, that urgency is delayed. I think he spends a good probably half hour just kind of letting the endorphins flush from the system, letting his fight or flight sort of tension loosen, stare at the sky. And his voice, which is weak at this stage, a bit cracked. He says to Slate, "I have been at the top of many mountains, have touched the stars, endless number of stars. Mountains have killed me before in my dreams. I'm glad it did not kill you. And I'm glad that you have a chance to see what I have seen. You and I are the same, I think."
Almost dead? Yeah, totally.
No. Our blood is the same. Our skin changes. And we both have shadows in our minds that are difficult to find. We, I think, have much to teach each other. You can change your skin with a thought, and mine changes with time and with injury. He turns to face you. His face has a big splay of lines from where he impacted the mountain. New tattoos that have set to his skin. Some of it along the extremities of his jowl are turning black. I wish to learn how to control this. And I can help you find the things that you have hidden in your dreams while I am still here. Trust you enough to show you how. Trust me to show you.
If this journey and everything we've been through to get to the top of this mountain doesn't show trust, I don't know what does. Perhaps a beer when this is all over.
We will have a few more, I'm sure. The temple, architecturally, what does that look like? Is it architecture I've seen before?
The architecture, as me, the DM, Ken, explaining it to you, John, is Celtic. Old, weathered, beautiful, ornate, like it has the spirals, the shapes, the like kind of the Celtic knots and symbols around it. But in terms of Westland knowing what that means, probably not.
He struggles to stand and reaches a hand out to Slate to give Slate a brace up should Slate wish to stand as well. Blessing.
I'm going to get up and I'm going to take a crowbar from my backpack and endeavor to use it as a bit of a walking aid. Something to lean on and use the bend on it to put the hand on and offer it to Weslin to help. And obviously my hand as well.
Came up here because the trees have ears. The trees have eyes. They are kind and have been warm to me. But what I must say out loud, cannot have them here. Trees are not known for keeping things to themselves. If one tree knows, the whole forest does. I think I'm seeing the future. Slate. I think this is a future. There were names in a book. My name was in a book. My brother and my sister's names were in a book. And their children, and their children's children, their children's children's children. There were names more than I could count. See their faces. I could see Arboris change. I could see the forest recede. All of those witches that we sent to sea, all of those witches that we failed to spill their blood, I think I know where they go. Come here. This is where they come. And it's our fault. And I think I just have to wake up and tell them. Maybe we could change things. We could steer away from another incident where the witches destroy cities. Or this is if I am awake, if this is real, that makes no sense. I can't still be alive. But maybe that's why I rot so quickly. That's preposterous. It's a ridiculous notion. This is... I can see the future, Slate.
Slate is completely lost for words, much like spending time with, like your drunk uncle or aunt when they start into one of their, oh, I know what they're going to say, and then they reveal something. You're like, oh, you don't want to interrupt them in case you break their flow, in case they stop the story and they don't continue. And every time I think it's going to end, it just goes on, and there's more and more. Absolutely, no idea how to deal with some of the suggestions that are coming from Wesland. However, I think what he would get from Slate is obviously that I'm actively listening, but there's compassion there because I have seen his struggle up the mountain, but his rapid aging. I've seen some of his hardships, and I can see his frailness and deterioration accelerating, etc. So like I have been doing, I just push to comfort him, to make the few steps that we're taking easier for him, to let him say whatever he has, to get it off his chest, to make sure he doesn't feel judged, I guess. So I'm saying as little as possible, but to allow him to have that space to really share, as he said, this trust that he's sharing. And all the while, I suppose, we're taking those tentative steps towards that temple. So I'm just looking at the path ahead and guiding him in such a way that he doesn't, fall, take a tumble, or get distracted from his thought process. And all the while just trying to take in some of what should be nonsense but makes loads of sense that's coming out of his mouth, and yet doesn't all fit together neatly in a nice little picture. So just trying to not be confused and trying to stay with some of the thought processes that are coming from Wesleyan as we walk.
Probably a little bit of delirium in his expression, in his eyes. It could also just be the thin atmosphere. But as we struggle towards the entry of this temple, he continues, I could also just be crazy. I could be awake for the very first time. None of that was real. The hillside, the sheep, village, just be some cruel trick played on me. What they're called, like a scarecrow that's come to life. Some stupid spell.
I don't claim to have the answer to any of this or to understand half of what you've experienced or what you're trying to explain. But by not having the answers, I always try to approach everything as logically and analytically as possible. So to me, it seems clear. Treat this as if it is real. If it's not, you'll wake up. If it is, you'll make the best of it until it's over. That's all I can think that makes any sense. And some of what you said might make you crazy, but then if you're crazy, I've seen some of it too. So that makes both of us crazy.
He nods, continuing to hobble towards the temple. I think that it would be a strange time. So wouldn't I wake up where I started? How did I get all the way over here? There's no forest to exit. Plenty of times I thought I was awake, and I'm most certainly not. Every dream has been a very strange and challenging experience that I cannot exactly put into words in a way to describe them properly. I mean, this points to the temple, and that when he points down to the clouds below. What was that? Was that real?
I mean, what's your definition of real? Something that you can feel and touch, or something that you physically react to? I mean, if you worry about something long enough, even if it's not real, you'll see the physical effects, stress on your body, on your mind. Even if it wasn't real, it becomes real, manifests. So what's your definition of real? Something consequential, something meaningful, something that has an impact, something permanent, transient?
Don't think I know anymore.
Well, after seeing what I just saw, I sure as hell don't know either.
Well, maybe this will help in unlocking your ability to comb through these sorts of things. Maybe.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, part of the reason I came on this hike, trek, climb is I thought, what's the worst that could happen? Then I thought, last time on the beach we got fucked up, I saw some things, so I thought this might be as good a place as any to do the same thing. Now I'm not feeling so hot, but maybe that should be the plan anyway. Maybe, I don't know.
We should seek shelter. Find a place to rest properly. And inside is as good a place as any. Feels right to go in there.
Do you think anyone's inside?
We'll find out. Hobble in. I'm not going to pay any attention to traps or anything. Like, Wesley's exhausted at this stage. Straight in.
Okay.
Is there a door, or is it just open?
It's just open. There's not like a big door or anything though.
Take a deep breath and go in.
As you boys enter, it's a smell that brings comfort to Westland, but wouldn't really have much impact or weight to Slate. It is in a way that actually the Dash quite poetically mentioned earlier. It's petrichor. It's like that smell just after a long period of no rain, and then suddenly it begins to rain, and you can smell it almost before you can feel it or see it. That petrichor sensation, the smell of nature, the smell of just earth, something old, something different. Yeah, I think that's the best way to explain it.
I'm assuming the interior is also designed with a similar sort of spiral or like a very particular stylized decoration, painted or carved into the stone, very similar to the outside, or has the decoration inside changed?
No, it follows that Celtic vibe. It follows that energy, that yeah, that like, I don't know how to explain it, but it just feels like when you're exploring old castles and stuff in Ireland especially, we're very lucky here to have so much history built around us that we almost take it for granted. We drift past these buildings all the time, but they're just stunning works of art. The stone, the masonry is fantastic. The design is just, you feel it, you know what it is, you're just so used to it, but it's there. It's phenomenal, and that's how it feels walking into this. It's a masterpiece. It's old as fuck, but it is built, like it is built to survive any weather, any time, anything, you know. It's just built. It's
How large is it?
Large, like an abbey or cathedral, more like a cathedral, I suppose. It's like not shaped like a church, but in terms of size and scale, I'm talking big.
So
yeah.
Multi-chamber, or is it more like a big vaulted like space?
Multi-chamber, but a big space where you're entering. Where you're entering leads into a big I don't know what to call it, like a foyer almost. Like there's if you guys are talking, you would experience quite the echo from it.
Is there a place to light a fire?
Not to light a fire, but there are sconces that are unlit.
Does the place look in any way like is it completely like hasn't been inhabited, covered in dust and dirt and grime for millennia, or is it, you know, immaculately clean, or you know what I mean? What, like, I know it's the stonework and the spirals and stuff, but in terms of usage or traffic, you know, I know there was no footprints or footsteps or anything like that, but does it look like it's been kept, used by magic or anything? Like, you know, is it clean, dirty?
It looks, well, let's do some checks. I'm gonna get you to do first of all, I'll get you to investigation first, and then I'm gonna get you to do, one of you can do an arcana check. So one of you do investigation, one of you do arcana, would be the best.
I'm super amazing at both.
Oh no, which will you choose?
I know, right? I'll do arcana.
Okay. So what do we get here? A 19 in Arcana
19
from
dirty
Westwing,
20.
and a dirty 20 investigation with Slate. Right. The place is, without a doubt, immaculately clean. It doesn't feel like magic. Doesn't look like, it's like if you were to pour some dust out or something, it doesn't just suddenly vanish. So it doesn't feel like an arcane cleaning as such, but the place is tidy.
Mm-hmm. So it's obviously at least regularly maintained in some way, which means somebody or something is doing that on a semi-regular basis. And is there any signs of anybody living, like there's no food or bedrolls, or any sign that somebody physically lives in this? Anything that would sustain them, or
No
creature
food.
comforts or anything?
No, nothing like that. No food or anything like that. No.
Any pictographs? Any specific symbols or imagery outside of the kind of patterned carvings?
I'm gonna make you do a religion check for me.
Super good at this one as well.
Ask the question, you shall get the answer.
Yep. Wow. It's a 20.
Dirty or not?
It's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay.
Slutty 20.
A slutty 20. Got it. Yeah. Symbols. Do you know, this is more Greek in mythology, but the wreath, like the grass wreath that people wear as a crown in a lot of Greek symbology, that would be something you'd be seeing around. In terms of connection to anything, that was a symbol that represented sort of unity among the gods at one point of this realm. It is something that is dramatically old. Slate would not recognize this, but Westland, you do. What do you guys
said
think?
that the kin fled the witches. They fled far. The land behind them burning, and they found shelter at the edge of a new land. They turned their backs on the old gods, the old ways, to seek shelter and safety, to be hidden. We have to be careful here.
You have to be careful here, like a Honda Civic trespass.
Yeah, it's been all night, man. Like whoever's got this car has just been like going up and down the street. Oh my god!
I like that car.
What are they doing on top of a mountain?
Well, like dragons really enjoy, Hondas. Yeah, that dragon's pretty souped up.
It was a dragon's fart.
Yeah, as a drive by.
Oh man.
Absolutely.
Good old crop dusting.
That's right.
I think I'd turn to Weslan after he explaining sort of a bit about that and saying be careful. And I would say it seems like a hell of a trek back down. Somebody obviously keeps this place. They're clearly not here. They weren't here to invite us in, but they weren't here not to either. There's certain rules about hospitality. I was gonna say, light the fire, cook a meal, set a table for 3, ring the dinner bell. That might be a poor choice of words, but...
You are correct. There are laws of hospitality. We will observe them. Let's find a place to start a fire. Let's find the hearth. and wait for our host.
I have a tinderbox and a water skin and a few things and some meager rations. So what little I have, I will set. I wouldn't begin to rifle through or touch anything that doesn't belong to me specifically in this instance. So I will just lay out what I have, and if there's any, I don't know if there is, like I said, creature comforts, if there's chairs or anything like that, but if not, whatever I can pull together, rugs, throws, blankets, without ripping them down or sullying them, but anything that I could make what would appear as 3 places for 3 people near the fire with the meager bits that I have.
So you're trying to start a fire in the sort of the area to make a fire for warmth.
If there's a hearth, so if there's a place, if somebody lives here or comes here regularly, if there's a hearth or anywhere that they would regularly light a fire, normally you would keep a fire lit for guests, for yourselves, whatever. So I'm suggesting that they weren't here to invite us in, but they also weren't here to not invite us in, and usually there's rules around hospitality. So I'm suggesting to Weslin that in the absence of the owner of the house, we make the house inviting upon their return to excuse our intrusion, and we, instead of them offering us food, I'm going to offer what I have to them and light their fire and prepare a meal for them, whoever they may be, with what I have, without disturbing their peace or wrecking their house. So they're not going to come in and, Goldilocks and the 3 bears. I've been in all the beds and all the porridge. So it's been as respectful as possible, but also giving us a place to rest, giving us a bit of heat, but also making it inviting or whatever for whoever. And then I'm going to turn to Weslin and say, they may know we're here already or they may not, but either way it looks like we've time to kill. So I'm going to take out any remaining beers that I have that I took from the school from the beginning and my loot, and say, if there's a third one, I'll just put one aside for whoever when they arrive, and then just leave it up to Weslin for the next part, what he thinks, basically.
We get to play music. Let me teach you a song. While there are no other ears to hear this. We would play this song to remind the spirits of those who have passed to not wander far, to not get lost, to not go into the woods, to stay with us. There will come a time where I would like you to play this. I will teach it to you. This is real. I would appreciate it. And I will play a song for Slate. I will teach him the song of the kin, the song of the ancestors, the song of the hearth, the song of the fire, and fall into that music and relax against whatever wall or pillar or decoration I can find to rest up.
Okay. Yeah, you play some music. You don't find anything for cooking or like a hearth or like even a kitchen here, something like that, but you do have enough wherewithal and get together stuff that you can make food if you want to, or cook if you want, without disrupting the place too much.
And chicken supply chickens.
Chicken supply chickens, yeah. Chicken is sniffing and wandering around and considering the... Chicken is clearly searching for something. And considering the environment is what I would probably phrase it as.
To playing the music and having another probably hour's rest, I may go and help Chicken find whatever he's looking for.
Yeah. There's a strange moment as Chicken wanders through the halls of this temple, sniffing, keeping its nose down and engaging in different things, smelling the corners, smelling the core central flooring. No dust, no traces of time ever passing here. Time ravages everything, so it's a little unusual.
Time is relative in a dream.
True. You know, it's been a long time now since I've seen a fox.
What?
Who might you be?
Who's speaking?
Standing at the end of the hallway, leaning against the door, is a man in with curled hair, brown back, a sort of long pointed nose and a short beard. He's wearing this beautiful sort of blue turquoise armor with massive ethereal white wings. I want to just show you. He stands there with open arms. Who are you now?
I'm a little bit overwhelmed by that picture. Like, what? Who are you?
I'm Caelus.
I am Weslin.
Yes. Nice to
This
meet you,
is-
Wesley.
Chicken.
Right.
Slate.
How's it going, Slate? You alright? What can I do for you, boys?
Where are we? What is this place?
Well, you think you'd know that, having walked in. You've no idea where you are?
Top of the mountain.
Without being rude, I mean, no, that's why I asked.
That's a bit rude now. Well, this is the Temple of Celestial Echoes, and I'm the Guardian. And I guess we need to have a conversation. But that's where we'll pick up next week.
God damn it.
Oh, borderline
I still
offensive, but
think
here we
he's
go.
a dragon.
Everything's a dragon.
I think he is a drag. I think he is the dragon they saw.
Impossible.
No.
No dragon would be called Caelus.
To be fair,
Apparently,
it's Caelus, but it's just, yeah.
as far
Caelus
as,
is devourer.
as far as Busy's concerned, it's called Caelus the Phallus, apparently.
God damn it. On that note, we will take a little break. Those of you listening to the podcast and watching on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. We super appreciate it. You guys have been awesome. We're getting loads of comments and likes and so much good stuff. You guys have been subbing away and throwing bits around and doing all sorts of stuff too. I appreciate it. Appreciate all of it. It's very hard to keep up with things while we're playing, but we do love it and appreciate it. And thank you so much for those who lurked and hung out and watched the podcast and listened back to the stuff and watch the live stream and watch the listen to the podcast and watch the YouTube videos and stuff. We really appreciate it. So for those on those platforms, we appreciate it, and I thank you so much for joining us. if you want to. The post show will be up on YouTube later, but for now, for those of you on Twitch hanging out, we will do a 5-minute boss battle on easy mode, and we will be back at half, and we will do our 25-ish minute wrap up where you guys can ask questions if you want. Exclamation point question in chat. If you have any questions that you want to ask the boys, Cian will be running the show today, so he will be monitoring that while I set up our meme corner, because I've seen that Shaq has been busy in Discord. So we'll be back in about 4 or 5 minutes. Do we do a boss battle? We'll do an easy boss battle. We'll just see. No points on the line for this one because we actually don't have
damn
it. We'll be back in 4 or 5 minutes. Dave, I'll answer that question for you as well. Thank you so much.